So I was in the shower, I was cleaning my ass and making all shirts all sparkly, spanky clean.
I'm not the funny one, I'm the pretty one.
Cock shots. I just checked myself out.
Candles, music, wine, and then lube up and get on top.
The glory hole's like a big theater. I've imagined your family.
Which means your pants had better come off. Mama needs playtime. I do this.
We're not sluts.
We just love love. Hello everyone, you've joined us here on By the By. This is Mrs. Atom.
And this is Mr. Atom. How's it going?
Sexy radio voice going
Yeah, it's
on
my
there.
sexy radio.
Yeah.
I'm trying something new. We'll see. So we have a big night tonight.
Yes,
We have special guests.
do.
Hi.
Would you like to introduce them?
I'll let you do it. I can't be bothered.
Aww.
No, they're wonderful people.
Wow, okay.
But
right.
at some point, you just get so big that you can't even introduce your own guests.
Wow.
I mean,
Well, I'm not that big yet, so I'll do it.
awesome.
Okay. So we are joined tonight by M and TY.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah. They are some friends of ours that are going to join us tonight. We're going to talk about dating in Australia
Dun dun dun.
as a 20-something-year-old.
Yeah, they're both 20-something-year-olds. We hate them. No, so we tricked them over here to for dinner and some alcohol and, you know.
If you get everybody lubricated enough, they'll start talking.
I
Talk
know.
about anything you
Yeah.
want.
Any minute the roofies are going to take effect.
Free drugs.
But let's talk first about what's been going on. We have this past weekend we went to Couples Club. That was exciting. We'll talk about that in a later podcast. That is not the information we want to talk about. We just want to bait you a little.
Yeah. That was actually the first time that we've been to Couples Club here in Sydney, so it was pretty exciting and very interesting. So we'll do
tell
a
that later.
future podcast on
Baiting.
that.
I'm
I
a
know.
masturbator.
I know you are.
Right? Just sit back, relax, tip your waiter.
Take your bartenders and eat groceries.
But I will say, speaking of Couples Club, before we went out on Friday night and went there, we'd had a date cancel on us. So what else do you do but you go to the swingers club, right?
Fuck yeah.
And so before we went out, though, Mr. Atom will sometimes take a Viagra. We had some around.
I'm addicted to those things. They're so much fun. It makes a good weekend.
Yeah, so I thought, well, he has such a good time with them. I'm going to give it a try, see how it goes.
Yup. And how'd that go for you?
Well, admittedly, soon after taking it, I forgot I had taken it. And so I had like half a glass of wine after work. And we were getting ready to go out. And I was like, gosh, I feel really tipsy. Like my face is flushed, you know. And I was like, I've only had a half a glass of wine. I was like, maybe it's because I have an empty stomach. I don't know. And then Mr. Adam kindly reminded me that I had taken a Viagra. And that's the typical response that he has afterwards is, you know, your face is flushed. You kind of, you know, just
A little dizzy, lightheaded.
yeah, a little lightheaded, and you know, one thing that I've noticed from him and others is that, you know, when they take it, they do get drunk a lot faster because your blood vessels open up. It makes sense. And so I was like, okay, well, I need to be good then. I'm just gonna like drink a lot of water along with the wine and whatnot, and I did pretty good with that.
Was it worth it?
Overall, I would say no, not for me. And the reason I would say that is I didn't notice any difference in my sex drive.
Oh, it's not going to affect your sex drive.
No, and it didn't, like, I'd seen, you know, where some women said that they would be wetter,
Yeah.
they were, you know, where your tissues are, I'm going to say more inflamed, but there's got to
Puffier.
be a better way to say it than that.
Puffier.
And, yeah, puffier.
Because who doesn't like a full set of lips?
So, I mean, I can't speak on that because I didn't really pay attention to my lips that much.
I was down there. It
Yeah.
looked like normal stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And so to me, I don't think I had enough.
Your new nickname won't be Mud Flaps.
Thanks, babe. But yeah, so I don't think I had enough positive benefits to really make it worth it because, you know, I don't like the whole feeling flushed. I did for a little bit afterwards, and really until we got to the bar, I had just kind of a very slight headache, and then it kind of started to go away, and for no real benefit, I don't think it's worth it. And there may be others who have different experiences, but
Your mileage may vary.
yeah. Yeah, but it didn't do enough for me to want to do it again. So you can have them all.
It was kind of funny. I love them. They're great. So we get Viagra and Cialis. And so for me, Cialis is better because Viagra has for me, a 4 to 8 hour period. Whereas Cialis is like, I could take it on a Friday afternoon and I'm going until Sunday afternoon.
What's
it's like,
the difference between them?
It's the different drug, but I don't know what
Longer
It's meant to have the same
The
effect.
Cialis is longer acting.
Yeah, Cialis is just a longer acting
I've only
drug.
had the Cialis.
I think it's
I love that.
supposed
That's
to be
like a
36
full weekend.
hours.
Yeah, 36
It's supposed
hours.
to be 36, but it lasts longer.
But for me, it's
you.
almost
Yeah.
48, and it's great. It's
Yeah.
I'm like I'm 16 again. I'm like, all right, we just had sex. Well, let's go again. All right, and I can finally keep up with your sex drive.
I know, isn't that awesome?
It is. It's. I feel like I need to start stretching though.
We can work on that.
Yeah.
We'll put you in touch with a yoga instructor.
I'll get you guys a yoga mat.
Yeah. Sad thing is we have one of those.
We don't know how to use it.
It's in the top of the closet. We never
It's
get
covered
to
in dust in the packet.
She throws it at me and goes, "Downward facing dog." Now.
Go.
So you've taken Cialis. What's your opinion of it?
Well, at the time I was about 21.
You didn't even need it at that point.
Didn't need it at all, but I was at the time actually at a swingers party, my first and only experience, and it was with a doctor. A doctor and his wife were sort of running it.
Oh, cool. I
And
love it
he,
already.
Wow, he's giving out free
Yeah,
drugs.
so he-
Everyone gets a prescription.
well,
you get a prescription.
You get a prescription.
You get a prescription.
basically he basically offered us these special lines, which were MDMA, ephedrine, and Cialis.
Okay.
So I don't know what your experience are with drugs, but obviously none. Okay, so
Yeah.
when you take MDMA, it kind of stops, you from it halts the blood supply to your penis, so
Okay.
it makes it very difficult
But
to stay
you
hard.
want to,
and also,
but you're in love.
but
and
everything
you-
feels amazing. It's kind of
Yeah.
like that blissful feeling of an
It's
orgasm.
when you're about to come. When,
Really?
Yeah,
when
you know
you're
that-
about
that
to
blissful
climax,
feeling.
it's that feeling.
That feeling, but prolonged.
Like when, yeah.
I may need to write this down.
So get
I'm assuming, is this
but yeah,
is this an
prolonged.
illegal substance?
Yes.
Illegal,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
So,
too bad.
so it kind of that, at least in my experience,
Don't
if
do
you
drugs,
find good
kids.
stuff,
How do you MD?
MDMA.
MDMA.
Yeah.
It's Molly in the States.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we call it MDMA here,
Yeah,
but it's Molly
okay.
in the States.
So obviously, yeah. So it kind of everything feels amazing. Your brain's a bit scattered. It's hard to sort of focus on something.
But
so,
you love everyone.
But it feels amazing.
And
So what I
everything feels
found is
good.
that like if having sex on MDMA is incredible. But an issue that can kind of be is that sometimes you have sex and you kind of pause for a little bit and you might look at something or whatever.
'Cause your
and
brain
your brain
was-
kind of stops thinking about the task at hand and then
Yeah.
things start working.
But-
Cialis counteracts that problem, so it's kind of like everything feels amazing. Ephedrine's obviously speed,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
obviously it kind of stops your stops your erections, but the Cialis kind of counteracts all of that,
So then you're in love and you can act on it.
and you can act on
And you're
it.
doing it
And
really
everything
fast.
feels...
Yeah, and everything
everything's
feels
really
ama-
good, really fast, and you love
Yeah.
it.
You're a happy, loving jackhammer at that
Yeah,
point.
basically.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
It's
So,
like Woody Woodpecker.
yeah, exactly.
Pun intended.
So this
Exactly.
doctor was doing everyone favors.
Exactly. So yeah,
Awesome.
it was pretty amazing.
So have you?
I
done
haven't
any
ever... I've been with someone who was on Viagra, but that was plainly just for the fact because we were in a threesome. He was like, I'm gonna need this because I've got 2 naked women in front of me.
No, that's
So and
wise.
it's going to be hard
Yeah.
to not be distracted by that fact. But I didn't really notice any difference just from the fact that he stayed hard, and I was like, well, that's the end of that, and you do you, boo, and I'll be over here. But no, I've never taken Viagra or any sorts for myself, but
Yeah.
I've always heard bad things for women though, that you just you don't feel any different, like sexually your body feels different and you don't.
Well, so, and the
Your
long and
drive
short of it
doesn't
is,
change.
it doesn't change your drive. It doesn't,
Yeah.
psychology, it doesn't change the psychology. It just makes the blood flow easier.
And I think that's the difference between men and women is that you clearly have to have a boner ready
Yeah.
to go, whereas I probably need to feel a bit good, feel a bit sexy,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
unless the drug's going to make me feel that way, It's not going to change it for me.
And as far as the blood flow goes, because I didn't do a lot of research, admittedly, in women taking Viagra, but I'd seen a couple of things beforehand, and one of them was that, some women are then moister, and I don't have a problem with that, so I don't know if it made a difference or not.
Yeah.
I mean, was it like a slip and slide? I don't know.
In-app,
Well, if by slip and slide you mean everybody gets a try and it's Sorry, I'm still stuck on the fact that you said moister.
The lady will appreciate that.
And there's so many people out there who hate the word moist.
Hello, lady.
For fuck's sake, I love it. We've lost 10 minutes in. We've lost complete control
Sorry.
of this.
We're saying moist. We're at that stage of our lives.
There's a great meme that's I'm moister than an oyster. I love it. So Saturday morning we went. I'm taking control now.
Okay, all right.
Saturday morning we went out looking for stuff. We've got a glow party coming up this Saturday, which is our first glow party. Have you guys been to a glow party?
I haven't.
Like to glow
You
sticks
probably
and
have.
Where
UV
where
lights.
it's
Just a
black
rave?
UV lights and
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
a birthday party, but it's going to be a birthday glow party.
Okay.
We
But it's
don't.
just like a rave? Like you just wear fluoro colours
Yeah,
and dance to
yeah.
like hard
And
techno
white.
music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take glow sticks and you snap them and open them up and you put the
You're not meant to do that. It's bad for you.
just don't put it in your eyes and don't drink it
Yeah, but like...
and don't put it inside you.
You're just
You'll be
gonna
alright.
lick people and it'll just...
Wait, don't put it inside you. Where's the fun in that?
I want my organs to glow.
Actually, I want to put it inside me and let it glow in there, and then I want to get that toy from Max Black that has the camera on it and put it up there and see
Make it
everything
cooler
glowing.
glow.
Yeah. They have a toy at
just
Max
feel
Black
it
now
burn.
that
I
has
don't know.
Oh, just never want to feel that pain again.
Burns when I pee.
I don't know. I've had it. In the eyes, it's not super fun, so I can't imagine.
Well, so we bought body paint that glows. I mean, so it's body paint, and so I'm excited for that because
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
You're going to have his and her handprints on you.
I am, yeah. So we're going with the. I can't call him a boyfriend yet.
The
but
new
he's-
beau.
The new beau. Yeah, he's wooing me, which is nice. So that'll be fun. And then what did we do? Saturday night we had a birthday party with Trinity Leather.
Yep.
That was fun. And then
Always gorgeous.
I love her.
Yeah.
Just fucking
Yeah. It's beautiful.
And then Sunday
We had a new first date with a potential
we
unicorn.
did, which takes us back to our guests.
Hi.
Can we talk about your not
Yeah.
where you work, but what you do?
Yeah.
So
I bartend.
yes,
If anyone was wondering.
yeah, she basically is a therapist that encourages you to drink,
Yes. Yes.
otherwise known as a bartender.
Yes.
Alcohol is the answer. What was the question?
That's my theory every day.
So we went to M's bar, and our it was kind of funny because we were talking to your colleague. I don't know what we're going to call him. We'll call him Hollywood.
Oh, Hollywood.
Hollywood.
We were
yes.
talking to Hollywood, and then it was funny because we told him immediately. He was like, "Oh, what are you guys doing here so early at 3:30 at a bar?" You know? Oh, we're alcoholics. Next question.
Thought that was obvious. Didn't make us embarrassed. Thank you. Moving on.
Is this not where the AA meeting is happening? But we were like, "Oh yeah, we have a date." He kind of looked. I mean, it's one of those things that I know that everybody at this bar knows.
Yeah.
But it's only been in the last, I think, few weeks that we have been completely honest with you guys.
But you guys know you're not the only swingers that
yeah.
come to our bar.
Oh, yeah.
But you're very conservative compared to the other swingers who...
We're conservative?
Oh my God, yes. These other swingers are about... there's 8 of
Wait,
them.
I'm sorry.
So
Let me...
Oh,
there's
I think I
another
know-
group of
no,
swingers
I
that come
think
to
I
your
know
bar?
this group.
You probably would recognize them. They've been there at the
Yeah.
same time. It's they're in their about late 40s.
We know this group.
There's 4 couples that are
Okay.
in it, and there's definitely always at least 2 of the couples there. One female who's very confident. I'll say that, confident, and I've seen very explicit images of them interacting in
apologize.
there that have forgotten that we're not a bedroom. And
Holy shit balls.
I've seen a few things that I can't unsee.
We apologize for that too.
That's not you guys. That's definitely them.
Well, I try to be cognizant of the fact that we're in a public place.
We did ask if Topless Tuesday was a thing.
Well,
Yeah.
I was there when you asked if Topless Tuesday was a thing, and John said sure.
come on that night.
You'll be like, I'm there, ready to go. No, yeah, no. But we find that you find that anyway, just in bars, in smaller bars where people do go on a lot of dates.
Yeah.
People have a few drinks, the music is up, everyone's dancing. You get intimate. It's just a bit more confronting when I'm like washing glasses and I look up and I can see people inserting things into each other. And
Holy shit, that's awesome.
there's more than two, and I'm like, the math doesn't
I think
really
it's quite
work out
interesting.
right
Like
here.
a bar sort of becomes a bit of an adult playground.
Yes.
And adults go and they get drunk and they start to play, but they
That's-
forget
that they're adults.
Yeah, well, they forget that there's sober people working behind a bar.
And I have to look at you,
You know.
if I'm looking away from the ground.
You know, and
If I
it's
want to look up at any point, I will see you.
and a sign of a good bartender is someone who can interact with the customers. But at the end of the day, they're at work.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so it's kind of like you know,
imagine if you went to your work and you saw people like fingering each other, and you're like, looks a bit different. I'm just gonna go back to my desk.
We call those staff meetings.
It's a sexual harassment meeting. Just a demonstration. No,
That's fascinating.
yeah,
I
so
actually
you're
didn't
not-
realize that. I had no idea. And I still don't know who you're talking about because I don't pay attention to anybody
Next time I'll
other
point-
than the bar staff and the people that I'm with. I mean, I see other people, but I
admirable.
don't pay attention to other people.
Yeah.
But I see where that could be a problem. That's
Go for God, I just don't want to see that stuff.
That's
I'm at
fascinating.
work. I'm tired.
At least we just tell you about it. We don't actually do it. You know?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, there's
Tell
been a
me
few-
everything.
there's
Let
been a-
me think about it. Don't let me see it and be like, oh, hey.
There's been a few times that we've been in with Harry and Sally, and
Yeah.
I know that I've just flat out made out with her.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll stop and I look and it's you guys behind the bar, and I'm like, I probably shouldn't do this. But those are the times that we come to the bar wasted.
Yeah.
We've already been out drinking and somewhere, and
But that's probably nice that you're somewhere that you feel comfortable to do that, because we already know like the situation, we know what's going on, we know
we feel
everything's-
safe. It's a safe
we know
place.
everything's all good.
Yeah.
Whereas if you went to another bar where they knew like that you guys were married and that
Yeah.
they saw you with someone else, they'd be like, hi, I don't want to be the one to tell you that's not your wife. Just a quick time check.
Well, that explains the height difference.
That actually gets down to one of the questions.
That's great. Oh, that's fascinating. I actually didn't. So, have you worked in other bars, Em?
Yeah.
And have you worked in other bars? Have you ever
Have
worked
you
in a
ever
bar?
worked in a bar?
when I was young.
Okay.
When I was young, but my
your
my
family's
family has
always
owned a lot
owned
of
bars.
bars.
Okay.
So I've grown up around bars since I was
You've always been in them.
4 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So do you see? I'm assuming you see a lot of dates and like the whole open relationship swinger community. Is that something that's more common than people admit, or
No,
It's
I
just
don't.
your
I don't
bar?
think. I
It's
don't think
just
it's
like-
common yet. I think it's going to be starting to be more common. I think people are willing to open to that idea, but it's not yet.
I think
It's
a lot
not.
of people try.
I think a
wouldn't
lot of
say
people
those
try, but
are-
I think some people are just jealous creatures, which is a natural thing,
and that's fine.
and it's
But
not.
a lot of people try and then find out that they're jealous too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I wouldn't say those people who try are part of a community.
Right.
Okay, I can
Yeah.
accept that as well, because we've talked earlier in other podcasts about New Year's Eve. We went to Our Secret Spot on New Year's Eve, and it was clear that many of the people there, this was their first time ever doing anything like this, and it was confronting
Yeah.
because they didn't know the rules. But
Yeah.
And
That's-
in my personal experience, like obviously I mentioned the party that I went to
Right.
before. Before that, I had an experience with my ex, like the same girl I went to the party with, and that was with some people who hadn't been involved in anything like that either. And I guess I've kind of been on both sides, but that was kind of almost more awkward because you're like, oh, you need sort of someone to sort of take the reins, sort of make things sort of
You're both.
progress.
It's like you're both virgins.
Yeah,
again, and
It's
you
like
don't know.
super, super awkward. But then also had an experience with some people who were very much in the community, and that was a bit like, oh, slow down a bit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, and then the party that I went to, which seemed very natural. Everyone was sort of more similar age group, and it was a lot more.
I think a party, like, I haven't ever experienced it, but I feel like in my mind a party would be different because you'd have the chance to kind of flirt with people and talk yourself into the situation. Whereas if it's just you and another couple and it's your first time, and you're like, well, do we drop our pants? Like,
Well,
do I have to hang up my shoes? What am I doing? Like,
And that's why there has to be a lot of communication.
and
it's funny because, like, the clubs are great because they do have that sort of, there's always a place where you can drink or have a drink and kind of it's conversational. And then you move to the play areas. House parties, we've never been to an official house party like that.
Yeah.
And then all of our play friends are all friends. We're not the meet a couple and let's just do this, like what you're describing. Just because
We at least like to have one date first.
it's just awkward. It's there's that awkwardness of hey,
Yeah.
do you like stuff?
Yeah.
my toes are different lengths.
You know, it's just so I like I don't know. We call ourselves sociosexual. We only have sex with people that we consider friends.
Yeah.
And so that makes it easier. But I know that there are people out there who are like what you're saying. You go to a bar, you pick somebody up, you take them home, and there you go. And then you
that's
never
it.
talk to them again.
Done, dusted.
Yeah.
Tap and gap, we call that.
I love
Wow,
Australia.
I love it.
Tap and gap.
Love it.
I guess gap doesn't really translate though. I guess gap is like put as much space between you and them as possible.
Yeah. So you tap it,
'Cause I
and
was
then you
thinking-
like
and then
put
you'll
as
gap.
much space
So
as
in
you
slang
can.
over here, like if you're gonna gap, like we went there and then
You're
we
gonna
gapped,
disappear.
means like we vanished, smoke bomb, disappeared out of there.
So tap,
Yeah. Gap, put as much
so
space
tapping-
between you
tap
and
and
them as
gap
possible.
means you bang and then you never see that person again or have any trace in their life.
That makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
Anyway.
it sounds so like final, like
It is final. Tap and gap.
Yeah.
Bye.
yeah.
I can
Yeah, you can do that as you leave. Done.
peace out, bitches. Okay. So, where do we want to go with this?
That's an
So we've got a whole list of questions
Yeah.
that
we may or may not get to, but we'll see.
I have a whole list
Yeah.
of answers.
so along the same line of watching people at the bars, I'm assuming that you see a lot of dates.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see a lot of first dates?
Yes.
Can you pinpoint when a date is starting to fail or really
Or
succeed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She generally, if it's a man and a woman, the female will start to look away. She won't be interested. People will start to check their phone. Someone will go to the toilet a lot. That means they're messaging someone, and they'll stop drinking. If a date is going successfully, they'll keep drinking and they'll drink regularly because they want to stay out. When you stop
Oh, that's
drinking,
clever.
it gives you an excuse to go home because you're like sobering up and you go, well, you don't look that great in the light. So in the light, they're not that attractive, and then that's how you kind of, people stop drinking, they just don't want to talk to each other, they part ways, and they part ways early. Whereas if a date's going well, they make out, they touch each other, people will move their chairs, they'll like be on each other, and it just kind of progresses from there. And you can, I don't know,
You
can
guys
kinda
need some
tell really
couches in your
easily.
bar.
Or
We
maybe
used to
you
have
don't.
couches. No,
Yeah.
we used to have couches. If you know
I'm
where
not
the,
trying to promote any sort of activity other
I'm not
than
going to
other
give
than
people
drinking.
like rubbers in the back.
Maybe you
We
should.
don't have condom dispensers in the bathroom.
Hey, we've said this a million times. The north of the bridge needs a swingers club.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
you
is
guys
true.
could be that swingers
You
club.
could be the first.
You've got the upstairs room. Just charge like $50
I do
an
tell
hour.
people it's a brothel, and they go, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, I have to make money, and it's not this." So, no, we used to have couches where the new bar is down the back.
Oh,
we
okay.
used to have couches. And
Oh,
the
yeah, I
amount of
remember that.
times
Yeah, I
I
do
would go
remember.
down there and see people having a good time.
Well, the main problem was that the woman would jump on the couch to dance with their stilettos.
Yeah, and they'd break,
Punch holes
they'd break
so-
That's
the
terrible.
material.
The thing is,
bad form.
you can't have
Yeah.
anything nice, so that's the reality. You know?
This is why we don't have nice things.
Exactly.
Yeah, so yeah, you can definitely tell the difference between
Okay.
when a date is going bad and when a date is going well. But
How many do dates go? So do more dates go well or more dates go poorly?
More dates go well.
That's
Which is nice.
That's
Love
nice.
is out there. It works. No, more dates go well, or they go like medium to well.
Okay.
It's rare that you see one go sour, but you do. It's very obvious when you see that happen.
So how did our date go on Sunday?
I think it went well. I felt like she just held back. But like you said, I think she was just in an unfamiliar setting, didn't know where it was going to go, and that she was like trying to just kind of get her bearings on what was happening.
Yeah.
And that's why she was a bit reserved. But I think it went well. She was nice. She was chatty. When someone's
very
not
chatty,
chatty,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
when someone doesn't talk about them and they kind of just answer your questions, that's when you... Because we have people sit at the bar, obviously, because we have a lot of people sit at our bar, and they have dates, and you can hear... I'm a busybody, so I listen to everyone's conversation. And when you hear someone just replying with like closed answers, and you know, well, they're not interested.
It's so funny you say that. So the first time that I heard you say that, I think it was you that told me this, that you could basically hear any conversation if you focus on it. It's the way the acoustics are in the bar, that all the acoustics go to the bar.
I don't know what it is, but I can hear everything that people are saying at the bar, and I can't hear the person standing next to me.
Drunk people speak loudly.
Yeah, but no.
they shout
It's also weird. It's
louder
weird
than
though,
you
because
need
when
to.
you're sitting at the bar, you can hear everything. But then when someone comes, it's like some people have this habit of when they're ordering, so they'll be speaking at this volume, like, "Oh, hi, how you going?" And then they go, "Hi, can I have a one schooner?" I'm like, "Why are you whispering to me? This isn't a secret that you're having a drink. Everyone is having a drink. They're talking in a normal volume. They're like, oh, just have one popcorn and lime." And I was like, "What? Hi, I'm a human. I've got human ears. Talk to me." But yeah, no, your day on Sunday went well.
Yeah, I'll never forget the first time you told me that you could hear all the stuff. I think my stomach just dropped a couple inches because I was like, "Oh, okay." And you were like, "No, it's cool. It's cool."
Cool. We still love you. It's
Thank
okay. Hence, I'm still talking to you.
Yeah, but I didn't know if you were only talking to me because, you know, I was getting drinks and it was your job. But
It was
nice.
interesting.
I know, right? But it was nice to know that it was accepted,
Not offensive.
not offensive.
Well, I don't know
Yeah.
if you've realised we're a bit of an odd bunch.
You really are, but that's
why we love you.
Yeah, that's why we keep going back to this bar. I think we could move to Wollongong and still make the trip up to this bar.
Hi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so getting, I'm going to say a little maybe more to what we thought we might talk about, which may not last very long, but we'll see. So talking about you dating,
Yes.
have you used apps for dating?
Yes.
Okay, what apps have you used?
So I used Blender back in the day when I was...
Whoa, Lady Grinder.
Wow.
Yeah, Lady Grinder when I was... But it was before Tinder.
Because we had that in the States.
Yeah,
I
it was
think I
before
was
Tinder.
fresh 18 when that came out. And Blender was a bit of a weird thing because you didn't choose who you spoke to. Anyone could speak to you if they were in your radius, and it was mostly dick pics. So I got very sick of that very quickly.
I apologized for that.
That's okay. I saved them. And then I've used Tinder as well. And I think, I know everyone probably says, but I'm pretty sure I got Tinder right when it came out because I heard it being on the radio and they're like, there's this new app, it's called Tinder, blah, blah, blah. And I got a lot of my friends onto Tinder. And initially it was... it sounds really horrible. I got it because I just was a bit bored and I'd want to talk to people, and
That doesn't
I had
sound horrible.
no intention of ever seeing them.
Right,
Yeah,
yes, of
that's-
course.
And also people would tell you that you're pretty and you sound funny, and you're like, yeah, I am a good
I think that's
catch.
that's like the inherent
Most.
problem with dating apps, though. A
Yeah,
lot of
people
girls
aren't-
using them who actually don't want to meet up
Yeah.
and just want someone to talk to.
I think my switching point was when I realized the people that you meet on these dating apps are the same people that you would meet in a bar, which I think a lot of people still have that issue now. They go, oh, but I met them on Tinder. But it doesn't matter. You could have met them in a bar and they could still have Tinder. Like, we met not on Tinder, but we both had Tinder at that time.
Yeah.
And I'm very surprised we didn't, like, meet on Tinder.
Both of you all swiped
but I-
left. That's what happened.
Nope.
I've used plenty of dating apps, but my success on them is
I think I matched.
No.
I think I matched with over 1,000 people, and I met up with one. Maybe.
I'm too ADD.
and-
I'm
too
too,
what?
I like too ADD to use it. Like, I'll have a conversation and I'm generally like, okay, we've spoken like, maybe 10 lines of text, and all right, so do you want to meet up? And then it's like no, or yeah, maybe next week. And then if it's too difficult, then I just lose interest, and then I won't use I wouldn't use the app for weeks on end, and then I'd try it again and rinse repeat basically, and I just got no interest.
You've just described her.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm one that I'm the same way. If after 10 lines I'm like, oh, let's meet, and then you can almost definitely see if there's going to be something coming up, because there's either a lame excuse, which is clearly a lame excuse, or in the case of the guy that I'm seeing now, it was 10 lines, and then I said, do you want to grab a coffee? And immediately he said, yes, I'm free at this time. I'm like, well, I'm free at this time.
I think that's how it should work, but
I agree.
It should be how.
But Tinder also became like like all these
fashion,
very fashionable, and there's all these Facebook groups where like everyone tries to make the witty one-liner, and now girls will only respond to you if you say something witty.
But see, that's interesting, because when I had Tinder, all I wanted you to say was, hey, how are you? Like, I didn't want a one line. I didn't want you to say a funny like catchphrase. I didn't want anything. I just wanted you to be like, hi, how are you? If you said something stupid like, oh, did you fall from the stars because you're an angel? Like, I would be like, go away, because I just want to have a conversation with you.
But there's a midpoint in there, because there's that, because I've gotten those responses that are clearly copy and paste. It's swipe right, paste, whatever.
Exactly.
I don't want that either. And hey, how are you is one of those. I mean, what I like is proof that you've read my profile.
Yeah.
Because in my profile, I say ethically non-monogamous. And you'll have a conversation with a girl, and it'll go back and forth, and then you'll say, oh, just to make sure, did you read my profile? And then you'll get a break of 5 minutes, and then, no, sorry, you're not what I'm looking for.
You have to
and
explain
then they
to them
unmatch.
what monogamous means.
I would in my
what does monogamous
in my profile, I had two things that I would know what they were looking for. So I actually thought about this, and I thought I'd put something where, like, so I love Star Wars, so I'd say huge Star Wars fan, still trying to find an Ewok, would be my first line. And second one would be, I can make a really good breakfast. So I would think the first one would be, you actually want to speak to me, and the other one would be, you'd want me to stay overnight, fuck, whatever, and I make you breakfast in the morning.
Holy
so
shit. Where are those women like you? You're perfect.
Yeah, so I would look at how what they would attack, and if they read my profile, and if they said, I'll let you make breakfast for me in the morning, I'd be like, you want to fuck me, that's what you're going for, because I'm all about just being upfront.
Yeah.
And if you spoke about something else, I'm like, you actually want to get to know what I do and don't like, and you think I could be a funny person. The end.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, that's...
I actually, you put some thought into it, and then you can kind of...
So then what kinds of... Also, because a bit ago you likened it to the people that you meet on there are the kinds of people you would meet in the bar. So given that, and given what you just said about messages, what kinds of messages do you get from people? Is it the kind of things you would hear in a bar, or is it completely different?
Well, I guess, like, the small talk is what you get in a bar. Like,
do you get small talk on Tinder?
Yeah, like, people be like, oh, hey, how's your day going? Good. What do you do for work?
Isn't it mostly small talk?
No, mostly it's dick pics.
That's what she finds. Pictures now?
I don't know. So
I haven't had it for a while.
It's the verbal version of dick pics. Maybe you can't send pictures.
Yeah. See, no, you'd have people who would be like trying to just text you.
Well, she's gotten like the third message. Hi, how are you? I'm good. How are you? I want to eat your pussy. Like that's how the conversation goes.
Hello.
And you're like, oh well, at least you said hello first.
Too bad I've got a dick.
Something interesting though is that like my best friend, we sort of became single at the same time with another couple of our mates, and we all sort of jumped on like some of these dating apps. I think Oasis, I think we used to use.
Okay.
It's a few years ago now, but 5 years ago or so. Now we discovered a certain thing about my friend, is that he has this unbelievable ability to pick up via dating app. Can't pick up in a bar, but on app he has like a 90% hit rate. And I've read these messages that he sends, and it's not, I really don't think it's much about what you say. It's just whether you're lucky enough to like match with the right.
So it's more of a shotgun effect.
I think it's a shotgun effect, and I think that's where this whole swipe right thing comes. If you hit it with a shotgun, you're more likely to hit something, because he also would say, like, you know, on one hand he likes photography, and he always say something in his bio would be about photography or something like this, and then he would always say that, like, the conversation would start with us talk about like these photos that I take. What camera do you use? Like,
Paint me like one of your French
they'd
girls.
start
Just
really
casual.
interesting, and then they would say, so do you want to come around later, or my parents are out, or something, or you know like my flatmates are out, something like that. And he would say that would get, like, annoying for him. So I really think it's I think it really is, like, if you just got to get someone at the right time, because you might use the app and you be like, fuck, I could really use a route tonight.
Yeah.
Or you could, you know, use the app and be like, oh, I just want someone to talk to, and your opinion of that experience would change based on your mood. So on one hand, you're like, oh, all I got was dick pics, and then another night you'd be like, fuck, I wish I had a dick pic right now.
All I want is something to rub one out to.
Yeah,
Please,
exactly. So it all depends
on
on your mood on the night.
I think, but then there are people who have their profiles that go, I'm just here for fun, or I'm not here just to root and boot. Like, you would have people who are very specific on what they do and don't.
I also find that there's a lot of, like, a lot of girls will say, I'm not here for a one night stand. I'm not into being mucked around.
My husband
that
to be
to
here.
me says, like,
You're a crazy.
you're
Psycho.
Yeah.
Oh no, that you're looking to get laid.
Yeah, exactly.
That screams, I'm
agree
looking
too.
to get laid.
Yeah.
But no, it screams, I'm looking to get laid, and then I will wait in the wings until you turn around and realize
no. Actually, you know what it screams? It screams, I've been I don't know what to use the word, but I've been slutty in the past,
Promiscuous.
and I've been burnt. I don't want to be that person anymore. I'm running from being that person, but I'm actually do
like
for
having
it.
sex all the time.
And they're trying to convince themselves that they're not up for a good time.
And it's funny because I think you're absolutely right, because I think that the women who say, and men, this happens with guys as well on, like, Grindr, the ones that say I'm not looking for right now are almost always looking for right now. It's one of those, the lady doth protest too much, methinks.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they're trying to convince themselves.
Yeah.
I won't do that again. That's not me, but actually it's you.
Yeah. I mean, and there's no slut shaming because, well,
no, we all love sluts. Sluts. I always think sluts have their place in the world. We all love them, and there's certain times where
I don't think there's such a thing as slut shaming. There's women and men who like to have a good time and are proud of it and will take it from anyone, and they like that feeling, and not necessarily who it's with. They just like that feeling inside of themselves. So slut shaming is just, there's people who prefer just to have
Depends on what
one
you
night
want.
stands.
promiscuity.
Yeah, they just prefer that lifestyle. And then if that's what you like, that's what you like. Good for you. You can deal with that when you never see that person again.
See, I like that, but I would like to see that person again. I just want my bouquet to grow and grow with a lot of different flowers.
Like a garden. Yeah. We'll just plant everybody out, out back.
Wow.
You can hang some pots from there. It's fun. I can see
It
it.
goes back to the Australian root.
Well, did you guys take it like a while to get used to that word?
it is a terrible word.
It's a terrible word.
It is a terrible word.
It's not one that we use really in everyday language at all.
very
I
jargon.
understand it when people say it. Obviously, we know what it means, but it's not one that when I'm talking naturally, it doesn't come to mind.
Never comes into my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's not one I choose to use, but it comes very naturally.
It's very visual to me. So when you say it, I have this visual image. I kind of have to chuckle a bit to myself.
Yeah.
But I know clearly what
But
you're saying.
it's not like I would say, like I wouldn't ever say to you, oh, do you want a root tonight?
No.
It's more you're talking with your friends. You're talking in a
It's
very
like gobby. Gobby is one of the... I had an Australian girl ask me
Do you
if
know
I
what a
wanted a
gobby
gobby. I was like...
It's a blowjob.
I mean, of course I said
Blowjob,
yes,
yeah.
but I was like...
Of course I said yes.
Yeah, of course
Anyone
I said yes,
would
but I was
say
just like... I was like... Ooh.
no, you can call whatever the fuck you want, but just put
Yeah.
your mouth on my dick.
Yeah,
You know what? Whatever will shut you up, sweetheart.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a
Love
gobby,
it.
Like-
yeah. It's a horrible word, but
There you go, ladies. Don't use the phrase gubby.
Yeah.
unless you're in Western Sydney,
Yeah,
then
unless
go
you're
for
in
gold.
Blacktown.
Go for gold, girls.
To all of our Blacktown listeners, they're only guests.
I grew up out there. It's okay.
West is best.
Yes. Good out there.
All right. I'm going through our list of questions and whatnot, and we've asked a bunch of these.
Yeah, we've...
Okay, here's a good one. So, on a dating app, who would be more apt to initiate contact? You, or do you let the other person come to you?
I am. This is my whole thing with dating, with anything. I will go all out. If I want something, I'm going to go and get it. So if I think, like I've met a lot of girls particularly who go, no, I'll never be the one to first message. If I think you're hot, I want to fucking message you because I want you to maybe respond to me. Like I want there to be a chance on that. And I do the same with like even like messaging or texting or communicating with people. If I want a result, I'm going to try as hard as I can to get that result.
Do you think that's more common because of the industry that you're in? That type of personality type is in...
Probably because I'm very comfortable with talking to people. I think that's why. But yeah, no, on dating apps, if I want, like usually it's horrible just because I'm a girl and most men will just, if you swipe right and you match, most men will just be like, yeah, like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Want to put me inside you? And you go, oh, no, thanks. Okay. Or if I find you really attractive and you haven't messaged me, I go, hey, something from you.
Do you want to be inside me?
Hi, here's the key. Use it.
I'm the key master. Do you want to be the gatekeeper?
Want to be a locksmith? Yeah, no.
Want to play airport hanger?
Yeah, no. So I am all for I will message you. If I want to talk to you and you haven't messaged me, I will message you.
Okay. And how about you?
Like I said, my experience on there is not the best. I'm really...
So, but did you find yourself mostly trying to message people first, or were you waiting to let them...
Yeah, I think definitely me trying to message people and then sort of...
Did you ever get ghosted?
Oh,
what is that?
I hate that.
Ghosted is when they just do not reply.
Oh,
if you, like,
yeah.
or
Is
if,
there
or
a
if you,
term for that? I thought that was just
ghosted,
normal.
or if you have started speak, like if you said, "Oh, hey, how's your day going?" They're like,
You start a conversation and then they just disappear, not say anything, not say...
Oh, yeah, but I do that as well.
So I do that as well, and I
thought that was just a normal thing. I thought that was
I'm
just
not a
like
horrible person.
I don't. I usually at least say I'm not interested.
I'm the exact same. I'll say,
well-
look, it's not going to happen. End of story.
I think the thing is as
Move
well
right
is that
along.
like someone might message you and like, I do that. I do that with text messages from
You do
my
that to
friends.
me.
Like my friends will text message me about
You do that to me, and
normal,
I'll call them like, why did you not reply
and I
to
just
me?
won't reply because I look at it and go, I can't be bothered. Is that Tinder not the same or?
No, it's different. So for me, ghosting is it's not a friend thing. So I accept it with my friends. Like if you know, a friend of mine, or if the friends that we have on Kick, we use Kick for all of our extracurricular people. You know, if I ask them a question or we talk and they sort of vanish for a while, that's okay. That's not ghosting. But if you have a
I
relationship,
get distracted really easily. That's why.
and that's the issue. That's why I ghost. Is I get if you can't keep my attention and we haven't met, I'm much better about not ghosting somebody that I've met face to face. But if you can't keep my attention, I just start.
if you're in the
I can't
middle
help
of
it. I start to
flirting-
drift
But
away.
what are you supposed to do? Say sorry, you don't keep my attention. I'm
you
no
just
longer
say sorry.
going to.
I'm not
just
interested.
I'm not interested
It's
in you.
the polite. So there's a really great book by Aziz Ansari, the comedian. He's the Indian guy from South Carolina. Funny as hell, but he wrote a book called Modern Romance, and he wrote it with a sociologist. And one of the things they talk about is modern dating, you know, and modern romance. Hence the name of the book. Anyway, so he does this really great routine at the end of some of his stand-ups where he goes, okay, everybody, if somebody's not interested in you, you know, clap for me if you want them to say, I'm not interested in you. And like the whole stadium will clap and cheer. He goes, okay, perfect. If you're not interested in somebody, do you actually clap if you actually say, I'm not interested in you? And like 10, 20 people
I'll say
clap.
it's battering.
Yeah,
I'll
and
do
it's just
it.
like, it's exactly what we want. We want someone to be honest with us and say, hey, look, I'm not interested in you. But it's hard for us to do that because we don't want to be the asshole who says, I'm not interested in you.
But my theory
That's
is
where my
like
problem is.
you don't have to like everyone. You're not going to be attracted to the whole world, and that's just life.
Yeah, but also you don't.
But you're not like. For me, if someone wasn't interested in me, I would rather they just said that. They just go, look, I'm not interested in you. Stop thinking about me. Move on. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's fine.
But they have.
I'm not everyone's cup
They
of tea.
have stopped thinking about you and they've moved on.
Yeah, but no, just tell me. So then, I
But
don't
that's
know.
for you.
Well,
I
so
feel like that's
I would
you
rather-
wanting that, but they've already departed. They're gone already.
But see, the issue we have with that is we had a guy that we were very interested in, and we were like, oh, this is going to be a good catch for us. We finally found our manticore. It's a male unicorn. Anyway, so we finally found our manticore. This is going to be great.
Sorry, does that mean a unicorn is always female?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go, you learned something.
Yeah.
Well, do you really see a unicorn being a masculine
It does have a
horn?
A very phallic.
Could also
yeah, phallus
Good.
coming out of its
phallus
head.
on
could
its
be a
head.
really hard nipple.
On its forehead.
Forehead nipples.
I guess the forehead nipple makes more sense than the forehead penis, but anyway.
Does that mean rhinos have 2 forehead nipples?
Yeah, well, they could.
It's just really cold.
Just really cold outside. They've moved up to the head.
Sorry, I feel like I derailed.
Have you never been to Africa? Dude, it's really cold. God.
Oh,
Sorry, you found this man.
Yeah, anyway, so we found this guy and we really liked him, and we'd had some really good conversations with him, and then we met him and it was like, oh, this is great. And he was trying to get us to come back to his place. We're like, nope, we don't play on the first date. That's not what we do. And so we messaged him, and he was going to come over to our place, and he never talked to us again. It was like a heartbeat, beep, 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 and we never heard from him. But he got hit by a car.
Oh, wow.
He later on. So that's why I say you shouldn't ghost, is because we thought he was ghosting us, and he'd actually got hit by a car. Well, then
that makes me rethink everything that's ever happened.
I know, right?
What if that person's what if that person's dead?
It's actually funny because we podcasted that night about it, and so because we were like, oh, we're expecting this, blah blah, and so we podcasted. Mr. Adam had a bit of a rant at the beginning, and about it, and so it was one of those things that. We thought that we had been ghosted by this person, and it wasn't until maybe a week later that we got a message from him saying that he was on a motorcycle, got hit by a car, blah, 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 and it was like, oh, well, now I feel really bad, but especially because, Mr. Adam had gone on the rant about him not showing up, because guys do that a lot. Guys,
guys are worse than women.
Yeah, and
But there's no manners on the internet.
I know, right?
So I kind of just feel like you're expecting something that's never going to happen.
No, but there should be manners on the internet.
But there's not. It's the internet. There never will be.
No, but if I have manners, then maybe someone will have manners.
Have you been on YouTube?
I know.
Have you seen the YouTube comments?
Wait, but
there's no manners on the internet. There's no being polite on the internet.
But it's got to start somewhere. If
I do it, I hope that someone will do it back to me.
Look,
I hope
pay it forward.
The US isn't getting rid of its guns. There's no one's being polite on the internet. It's too far gone. It's not going to happen.
YouTube comments.
The internet
still
is run by teenage boys.
Yeah, well,
the internet is for porn, and it is kept alive by teenage boys. And there is
for porn.
And exactly, and there's no manners.
For my mind, I feel like if I am a good person to say, "Hey, look, not my catch," that someone will just do that back to me.
It's a fantastic world.
Someone will. Most won't.
Most won't.
And that's true. And I tend to agree with her. Sorry. I know you're right. I know
that there's two 13-year-olds out there running my entire life.
So basically, he knows that you are right, TY, but he hopes that M is right.
That's what I want. I mean, and it goes back to that thing. It's like...
No one wants to be an asshole. No one wants to do it.
I think that's the thing, and that's the problem, is that nobody wakes up. Okay, there are a few people, but there's a minority of people that wake up and go, "Yeah, I'm going to be an absolute cunt today." The problem is the internet and the anonymity that it provides allows you to do that.
I don't think anybody wants to be an asshole or be a cunt. It's just most people inherently are. How do you know you not to do something if it's all you know? If you wake up, people don't wake up and decide to be a cunt.
That is both profound and really depressing.
You just are.
I'm a cunt. Have you ever met me? I get giddy over puppy videos. I'm not a fucking cunt.
No, you're not.
I have one, but I'm not one.
This is going. We're losing the podcast.
It's okay.
You've lost half your listeners.
That's my favorite quote of the day. I get giddy over puppy videos.
Oh yeah.
I do. I don't know.
Oh my god. Anyway,
if you don't like puppies, you're a cunt. Bottom line.
I will admit that I agree with you. You are spot on.
We cannot be friends.
No, someone who doesn't trust dogs, you can't trust them.
Yeah.
Because that's just some shit.
If you're going to be mean to an animal, you're going to be worse to a person.
Oh yeah.
And your waitstaff.
Oh my god.
That's my one advice to anyone who goes on a first date. See how they treat the waitstaff and bartenders. Because if they can be an asshole to bartenders, someone who's literally feeding and giving them liquid, they're going to be an asshole to you. When they want something, they're going to be an asshole to you. So
I used to have that issue with my ex. Like, she would get blow up over something so silly, like an order wrong at McDonald's or something like that. I'm like, look, these people are not. They're being paid $8 an hour, and they don't give a fuck. Like, they're at McDonald's. Life is shit. for them. You know,
This is how far they've gone. This is it.
You know what I mean? Like yeah.
They
I
wear
just
a
think
hat
They're
at
having a
work.
shit day. You know, like you know, their cat might have died, their grandfather might be ill, and you're complaining to them about not enough sweet and sour sauce. You know, I just think that's
That's actually a very
That's my advice. Look at
That's a
how
very
your
good point.
date treats the wait staff.
because
and
you
bar
see
staff.
so many people that are very nasty to wait
Yeah,
staff.
I
and
don't
bar
But
staff.
we're a complete stranger. Like,
And
I
I
don't
don't-
know you, and you're being rude to me.
Yeah.
It's not
And
a
I
nice
think
thing.
obviously M complains about some of
I
the
complain
patrons a lot. And me having grown up around the hospitality and never really being in hospitality, but being around hospitality my whole life, I try and be very, very polite to staff, and I'm also very, very understanding. You know, you can spill a bottle of wine on me. I'm
For
going to be
someone,
upset.
for someone, you for
but
someone who
it's a
doesn't work in
mistake,
hospitality,
you know?
you're very polite
Yeah.
to a
Don't set me on
hospitality staff.
fire, and it's okay. But you know, if you spill something,
Don't
it's
kill
all
me
right.
tonight.
It's all right.
Yeah.
You know, people are having a bad day, and we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, if I make a mistake at work, it normally costs thousands of dollars. So I understand what it's like.
That's
to,
my confusion with people
to-
who are rude to wait. Like, I could very easily make you very sick. Like, no, but I could put bleach in your drink. I could,
But you won't.
Anyone who ever gets served by me, I won't do that. But like,
Do the little taste test first.
your wait staff, your chefs, the people who feed you, I could make you ill. Like, I could ruin you for the next 48 hours.
Be nice to those people.
Don't bite my hand. Don't bite me. I'm feeding you. Like, you wouldn't do that. And it's just, it confuses me because I would never do that to someone who
Got
could.
really dark, really fast.
Em showing her true colours.
She's so petite and sweet. I wish you guys could see her because she's like pint size. But God, don't piss her off.
Don't piss me off. You get bleach in your drink.
It's just a new vodka. It's fine.
Just cleans your insides real clean. Real white.
Wow. All right. No, but I do think you make a good point. Be nice to your bar staff and pay attention to your date.
And tip.
And I agree. So
Yes.
it's funny. I know that bartenders and waitstaff get paid more in Australia than they do in the States.
Our minimum wage is a lot higher.
Yeah. In the States, I was in hospitality. I was a waiter for a while. We got half of what minimum wage was. So whatever minimum wage is, cut it in half, and the rest was intended to be made up by tips.
Which is very often like $2 to $3 an hour.
Yeah, it makes no sense at all. But down here, people are so...
The rest of the world.
Good point. Fair enough. The rest of the world, it makes more sense to pay these people, your kind, I don't know.
This species.
You people.
People who choose to do this for some reason.
It should be a job in which you can make a living at, and that so in the States, what you end up with is younger people, up to about the age 24, 25, and retirees that are trying to
people getting
supplement.
their way through college.
And so you don't get any people in the middle, and down here you see a lot of people that's their career, and they're very good
And
at
they're
it.
fantastic at it.
And
Yeah.
you should tip. I like the idea of not tipping everyone, but if you go above and beyond, like the bar, your bar, I mean,
performance.
everyone-
Yeah,
but see, this is the funny
exactly.
thing, like,
Performance-based.
Yeah.
no, but it's not a performance. Like, some people, it is a performance. Like, if I have a group of 6 girls, if a group of 6 girls come into the bar, I will send we have me as a female and 2 other male bartenders. I will send one of the male bartenders, Hollywood, who's a beautiful human. I'll say, go talk to them. They're probably going to tip you. They'll order cocktails, and you can smile at them, and they'll probably
and you might
give
get a
it.
number.
You'll probably get a number. You'll probably get 3 numbers. You'll probably get all the numbers, and you'll get some cash back. But whereas we have a lot of regulars like you guys. I get so weird about getting tips. Like, I feel uncomfortable about it. I don't.
But nobody, especially in Australia, because it's not customary, nobody's going to tip you if they don't want to. So if somebody's offering you money, don't say no to it.
Yeah, I'm not going to say no, but I'm not
and
going
it's
to. I'm
because
not
you
going to
deserve
say.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
deserve
And
it.
I don't pay with cash. I always pay with card. And
Yeah.
you always just type the number in.
And then, pass that
and then you
screen and,
basically, you
yeah.
throw the card at me. And I'm like, I'm drunk at that point. What you need to do is say...
No, but you need to know that
I tell
every
her this as well.
Yeah.
every other person, like if I'm not friends with you, I will say, and here's the tip screen if you'd like to leave me a tip.
That's what I want you to say to me.
No, I don't want to do that.
Or just add it yourself and tell me what it is.
I don't want to do it.
I'm okay with that as well.
No, I get paid enough. It's okay. You don't need to give me money. It's fine. Keep your money. No, you always say that to me. Just like ask people for. I do. I ask everyone else for. Well, I do believe that there should be a cunt tax in bartending.
Oh, I agree completely.
If you are a dickhead to me, I'm going to add 10%.
Yeah.
And then that's just going to teach you a lesson. And there's a cunt tax. So if you're a dickhead, you get surcharge of 10% that goes in my pocket. And if you're a really nice person, you get a discount of 10%. And that saves you money. So then you learn how not to be a cunt. And that's the moral of the story. You have to pay more for your dickhead.
I love it.
That's my theory. And I always say to my boss, I'm like, look, we should just put the cunt tax on.
You can call it the cumulative, unruly, and nasty tax.
Yeah.
Cunt.
Brilliant.
Yes, done.
Brilliant.
One day.
Yeah.
One day. That's the dream, isn't it? It's a legal thing. I can't just put that on.
That's awesome.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Oh, wow.
That's fantastic.
All right, we've got more questions. Let's see if we can get through some of these.
Yeah, and if we don't, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I don't know.
Where do you want to go?
Let's see. Yeah, so basically what happened was we went to the bar yesterday and got absolutely shit-faced, and walking home, we ranted into her phone for most of the walk home about questions we wanted to ask you guys. And then so she very kindly typed these out, and I'm assuming you wrote them out in the order of which we...
Yes.
Which
So
is funny when I look at this
they tell
now
a
going,
story if you
no
read through.
wonder I'm drunk. This is clearly
Yes.
drunk. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
What's a monogamish?
Okay, so that was one of the questions we had, and it goes from the one above. Is do you consider, because we're talking about the dating apps and things like that, and do people on dating apps expect you to be completely straight, or do they want some sexual fluidity? So let's start with that.
I think it's interesting at the moment, like we were saying earlier while we were eating a beautiful dinner made by Mr. Adam.
Oh, shut up. Tell me more.
I think at the moment it's fashionable to be sexually fluid, and it's not. You are shaking.
Oh, he's shaking his head.
I'm
See,
really...
I consider myself completely straight because I do find women beautiful creatures, but I'm not mentally attracted to them.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I do consider myself completely straight, but I think at the moment in society there's this whole gender fluid, there's all these things that I think it's fashionable to be sexually fluid, whether people actually will ever explore that, but just be open to the idea.
I'm straight, and this whole sexually fluid thing that's sort of going on, it's very apparent in the States at the moment. I find it very confusing, and I'm all for people doing whatever they want to do, and I've got no problems with anything, but I feel like at the moment there's a little bit of it's kind of like if there's 3 items on the menu, someone's always going to pick the third option just because it's there. So when you've got, I'm just talking about like there's pansexuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like
There's too many
I'm a
names I don't
fox
understand.
and all this other stuff that's going on.
If you're a fox, Ken, I'm going to help you cull these people from your podcast now.
I'm just. Yeah.
If you think you were meant to be a fox, you need to see someone.
I don't understand a lot of that.
But what do you think is expected, though? Do you think that when you're meeting people, do you think that they expect you to be straight, or do you think they expect you to be a little more fluid?
I think you're expected to be on a dating app. You're expected to be the sexuality that you've matched with. Like, so if you've matched with a male and you're a female, you're expected to be straight.
Completely
Does
straight.
Tinder
More straight than not.
Okay.
I thought, does Tinder...
Tinder does do bisexuality.
It does. I didn't. No.
So it's straight, gay, or you can match with both.
Yeah.
Was
So
it
does
always
it
been like
Basically,
that,
it asks you if you want to be matched with men or women, but you don't actually. If you match me,
Yeah.
you don't know if I'm matching with guys as well. And if a guy matches me, he doesn't know if I'm matching with women as
But
well.
if you're a male and you ask to be matched with both, the men that you're being matched with,
Are
have
they
they also
bisexual?
selected both?
No, they're asking me to match
It's like
with men.
men.
So they can
That's
be
kind of
gay
So
or bi.
That's
So
you've
they're not
narrowed
straight.
the field quite.
yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like, in answer to the question, I guess I thought there was sort of apps for
There
that,
are.
There are.
like
And
Grindr.
I think people who are after that are aware of those apps.
Why?
Yeah.
Just out of interest, if you're a bisexual man and you're looking at, actually, no, I answered my own question. Like, I was just saying, if you're a bisexual man and you're like, because you're being matched with men that are obviously straight,
But you're not.
But you're not.
You're not being matched
No,
with
no.
men that are straight. So if you put that you want to be matched with women,
Yeah.
I put that I want to be matched with men and women, we'll never match because I'm not a woman.
You
Yeah.
have to say that you want to be matched with men before you will ever
Oh,
match
okay,
with
that's
men.
what I was going to say. So I was thinking that
you
if
could
I...
be gay or
So,
bi,
yeah,
but
so
you're not going to be straight. in
Okay.
You could,
matchmaking.
you could be bi.
That makes sense, because
yeah.
for a moment there I thought that if you asked to be matched with men that we would get matched even
No.
though I hadn't
No,
selected them.
No.
that wouldn't
No.
happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it looks at your
Shows
sex.
how much I use these apps.
I know, right?
No, that's good though.
that's good.
I think, I think you're expected, like, whoever you match with, they're just going to presume that that's what
Right.
you're interested in.
Right.
And I think it
I
does
haven't
depend on
really.
the app because the Tinder.
Tinder's a very heterosexual
Tinder,
app.
yeah, it's a heavily hetero
Yeah.
app. But then you've got apps like
Red
what
Hot
was
Pie and
Thrinder
stuff.
that is now Field, which is how we met the lady that we saw on Sunday, which is more for threesomes and groupsomes. But now Tinder is starting to do that with the whole Tinder social.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is terrible. I
See,
hate
we
it.
haven't had Tinder in a long time.
So Tinder
know
does
how
a
it
Tinder
works
social
I
thing.
heard that was a thing, but...
Really?
I don't like it.
I don't either. So we haven't tried it, but the idea is that you have to be in a group, and so it's group dating. So it would
But
be
you
the
have to
equivalent
be
of
in a
four of
group.
us going out, and we match with 2 or 3 other people, and then we all plan to meet somewhere, and it's just a big group date.
But from my understanding, and I could be wrong, but you have to be in a group to like somebody in a group.
Yeah,
Which is silly that they even show it to you if you're not in a group.
and that's the problem I have. But
Yeah.
that's
I think they should just stick to what they're good at and then
Yeah,
leave
exactly.
Because I
But I
think
think isn't it-
if you're after something else, you can find the app that is suitable for
Isn't
that.
the
Yeah.
Tinder social for friends, though? Isn't that what it's designed
for
for?
friends who take their clothes off.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I'm
Friends
pretty
with
sure that
benefits, man, come on.
I'm pretty sure the idea behind it was that groups of friends could, engage with other groups of friends, and that it's being
that's what they're
hijacked
selling to
as
the
a
parents.
groupsome
Right.
app.
I think that's what
And I
they're telling
think
their
I-
parents as well,
Yeah,
honestly,
it's
because
a-
nobody goes on Tinder looking for friends.
If someone says, "I'm just looking for friends," you're like, you are a lonely soul and
No,
you want
but
someone to
that's what it was
lovingly
designed
have
for.
sex with you.
I think it was designed for what I think it was designed for is 2 groups of people who could go out and sure make friends, but again,
Some subset of those groups are then going to hook up.
yeah,
Can you
that's yeah.
with Tinder
Not
social? Can
necessarily-
you have like a group of guys and like all mates who like let's meet a group of
Yeah.
girls and then
Yeah.
I think that's why it was
Oh.
designed.
Yeah.
But
That's kind of cool though.
That's what it was
Because if you've
for.
got some hot friends and you meet a girl that's got some kind of hot friends and you all just want to be
Yeah,
hot
I'm
together.
pretty sure that's what it
But
was
again,
for.
you're not looking to make friends with those girls. You're looking to hook up with 1 or 2 of them.
Just go to a bar.
Yeah, but like I think
And tip
Go
your
outside
bartender.
house.
I think it's
Apparently
widely.
just
Bartenders.
Just go
I'll
to
help
M's
you.
bar, apparently.
Yeah.
I'll help you pick up anyone.
She's a great wingman, wing gal.
I think it's widely accepted that Tinder is about trying to get laid.
Yeah. I think it's very understood.
Pure-
it's
purely.
not.
It's a hookup app.
It's
Yeah,
not
purely.
shocked. Like it's not shocking when you find something that's like I'm just after this.
Yeah,
Like whoa, whoa,
that's
whoa.
like what it's
this
for.
is
That's
like,
why when you get these people that say, "Oh, I'm not looking for a one night stand," it's like, yes, you are.
But it's So
So Tinder social is like I'm looking for a full bedroom suit, not just a one-night stand.
Yeah.
I'm looking for all rounds of the baseball innings. So let's go. Let's
Yeah.
start at the top.
So then, and I'll feed back into this a bit later because I'm also curious about something that one of our recent dates said. But then, if that's the case, do you think that people on Tinder or when you were on Tinder, were you looking for more? Do you think more people are looking for monogamous relationships or just kind of fun, a little bit of play, but not serious?
I think everyone's looking for a little bit of play, but not serious.
I think everyone's looking for a little bit of play, and they're hoping that they meet somebody that they click with.
Okay.
Interesting.
But see, I think
Because-
in today's world, I think that I can't say about us. We went on 6 dates, I think, before.
we went on one date before we were in a relationship.
Yeah, but we went on multiple
It was
dates
like,
before we slept together.
Signed, sealed, delivered.
went-
because I was a stupid person. I was like, I have a rule, and
What
Yeah.
was your rule?
well, see, okay, so I have never been successful to get past the first date because
Because
Emma either took her pants off or just jumped the gun, and I just looked at that and felt like that equated to why it didn't work, and
Okay.
and so I for some reason
slut-shaming yourself.
when I met yes I was, and it was stupid, and I was coming out of something and I hadn't been dating for a while, and I met you, and I said, look, put a rule on yourself, just don't sleep with him for 5 dates.
5 dates.
5 dates. Because
That's a lot.
in my head,
What were you trying to create the world? On the third date,
I was
M
trying
created.
to build an ark, and ship us No, I had some time.
Hey, look, we're trying to build an ark too. We're trying to take 2 of everything.
two dinosaurs, 2 rats. No, on the 5th date, my idea was on the 5th date, we would sleep together, but you can't control that stuff. And
Actually, no, you said 6 dates and it ended up being 5 dates.
No, it was 5. No, personally, because I made a pact with my friend. It was 5 dates.
No, it was 6 and then it happened on 5.
Please,
I remember, I was the one that was waiting.
He's like,
I was ticking them off.
So then,
He's like, hi, yeah, you want to go to McDonald's?
so then he's like, what defines a date? Can we have a date, a date, a date at 8 o'clock?
Good on you.
Yeah. Like, then we went to the
But, no,
movies
I
and then
think-
dinner. I said, that's 2 dates.
It
Right?
was this is why, because we got in a relationship after 1 date.
Yeah.
Oh no, 2 dates.
Yeah.
2 dates. One was just one was just us, and then one was us and a group of friends.
Yeah.
And that's very, very uncommon in here. And so I wasn't thinking that we were going to be an actual thing before we slept together. And so I was, and then I went away for a week, and then we had like 3 dates in like 1 week, and then we slept together, and it was just.
Yeah, I think that nowadays it's like that's very, very uncommon. I think nowadays a lot of people are sort of having one night stands and then it's going on to
Turning
be.
into, I think
You just
coming
described
up.
us. That's
Yeah.
what happened with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think we've ever done the origin story. So
No.
we
many years ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
It was 4 years ago, and it was in North Carolina.
That's far away from here.
In a galaxy far, far away.
But we had gone down to her beach house. She had owned a beach house, and we had driven down together. So I guess you could call that a date. We had
It was
ridden
2.5
down the same
hours in the
car,
car.
and then spent the weekend with a
you
group
talk
of
a bit,
friends.
yeah.
And it was 2.5. We could do nothing but talk. And then the drive back, it was again she rode with me, and then I got home, and I remember thinking, oh, I kind of like this girl. She's really hot. And so I texted her, and I was like, do you want to grab some dinner one night this week? And the text I get back almost immediately was, well, a girl's got to eat. And I'm
I can actually imagine you saying that.
and I'm like, that's a yes. Score. I'm in. And so I picked her up from her place 2 nights later, and we went to this really nice restaurant and blah, 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 blah. Long story short, I drive her back to her house. I'm not a closer. I am not a closer at all. So we're sitting in the car, and I'm like, well, you're very pretty. You're nice.
I like your hair.
I mean, you smell like the inside of my mama's purse. And she looks at me and she goes, oh no, you're coming in. And I went, okay. And she pounced on me the second we closed the door.
I was looking for another booty call to fill in a few gaps in the week. So yeah.
See, I find like I understand that because you know that movie in the States. I think it's called That Awkward Moment, but here it's called Are We Officially Dating with Zac Efron and the other 2 guys. And you have a roster, and you have people. So my idea with dating has always been you have people that you have fun with to relieve your sexual needs, and then you have people that you actually like that you date. And so you get rid of those needs with other people, and you relieve that, so you're not then overthinking everything and being on edge with the person that you're seeing. Because if you are just dating these people and you haven't had sex in ages, you're going to be like, please touch me. And whereas if you have fun friends to relieve all that tension, and I even found with these guys that I would have this relationship with, like not like a boyfriend relationship, but a fun friend relationship.
Benefits.
Yeah. I could unravel all this stuff. I'd be like, look, I really like this guy. This is how, and he'd be like, you're being a crazy person. Like, just tell him that, or like, oh, you should do this, or
Like, I didn't
you're
sign up for
good.
this.
So it's
Like, but you develop a friendship.
and it's a good sounding board.
It's a good sounding board, and you obviously like you trust each other enough to get naked, and so you relieve all that, and then back to what you're dating, you then have a clean slate. You're not on edge, you're not tense, you can relax, and you're not also looking for approval with the other person because you've already gotten approval from that person 2 nights earlier because they obviously found you attractive enough to have a boner.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough.
I subscribe to that.
Yeah. No, I know.
Well, that's always been my theory with.
Because when we first started hooking up, I was number 3 or 4 on the list, on the roster. And much like a JV team, I worked my ass off to go. Yeah, I'm like, I mean, that first season, I worked really hard. And I was MVP.
I was never benched.
I was never benched. And before long, I was playing pro.
It didn't take you long to move up to pro.
I think a roster is really underrated. I don't think enough people do it. I don't think.
I agree completely. I think.
And there's no, like I said before, slut shaming shouldn't be a thing. There's no shame in wanting to have sex with someone and never wanting it to go past that.
And that was the interesting thing to me because, admittedly, when I started with that, I very quickly learned that even with the guys, which I guess I was being a bit sexist in that I thought guys would just want to have sex and that would be it. And that, they're okay with not having a relationship.
Sometimes they'll like you.
But I found out that the guys did want to have a relationship, and so I would have to basically cut it off and be like, look, this is just sex. Which is why I never had anyone stay the night, because then there would start to be feelings and whatever. And it's like, no, you're like, we have sex and you go home.
That's always I have 3 rules with a fun friend. 1, never sleep over, because you'll cuddle in the morning and that's romantic and you'll get these ideas and you're like, oh, they love me. They don't love you.
No.
2, keep kissing to a minimum, because kissing's very intimate.
Yep.
Thank you, Julia Roberts.
Kissing's very intimate. And 3, don't text before 9 p.m. I don't care how your day went. I don't care. Don't pre-organize that shit. I don't.
Oh, so you're looking for somebody who's like, they text you at 9:30 and like, I'm there in 30 minutes. Are you free?
Yeah. And you go, yeah. Bada bing, bada boom.
Wow.
Here you go. Yeah, but that's what you want, because you don't. I think for me, because I become so emotionally invested in people, I don't want to have that chance to do that. I want to cut it right there at the umbilical cord. I want to be separated from you. I want to go, this is what this is, and this is all it'll ever be. Because if I ever have a glimpse that it will be more than that, I'm a crazy person. I'll be like, oh, wow, he loves me. And this is... No, he likes eggs as well in the morning, and he offered you some because there was 2 left over in the carton. It's just a polite thing. So that's like, I had 3 rules, that's it. And then you have those people, and they're your life. And that's probably why I, on dating apps, will be like, I'm not interested in you. I'm not like this, because I want someone at the beginning. If you just want to have sex with me, that's A-okay. People like sex. The end. Just tell me at the beginning. Don't pretend to have dates.
It's perfectly acceptable.
And I think I've said to you guys before, like, don't pretend to like me to then just tell me you want to have sex with me, because then my head doesn't. I can't have that many thoughts going on.
No,
I'm a very simple person. I don't know how to change between emotions. If I like you, I like you, and that's the end. I'll be in love forever.
Well, I've had messages from people on like Tinder. I guess it was Tinder actually. But the first message out of the gate is sex or serious. Like basically, which one are you looking for?
But I won't be offended to that.
No, I would. It was like that. That's a damn good first question.
Yeah.
But see, and so for me,
but that's also very forward.
Well, I'm okay with that, but the problem is both. What I want is both. I don't. So we also, are in the polyamory thing where I like to develop a relationship. I want a relationship with somebody.
You're sociosexual.
I am, but I'm also polyamorous in that
you're poly and you're bi.
I'm
That's a reference to another podcast.
Wait, which podcast is this?
It's a quote from it's a quote from a show about polyamory.
It's called I can't
There's
remember.
a show called about polyamory where it's like a bachelor house and they all are polyamorous and they all just like fuck each other and.
But so polyamory doesn't mean you're having sex with everybody.
No, but it means you're open to.
Yeah, it's multiple loving relationships.
You can love multiple people at once.
Yes.
Yeah. You're like, I'm so embarrassed.
We've lost TY.
He's like, oh, please take her outside. No, I'm interested in that because
I like having many relationships, and they don't have to be sexual relationships. But I mean, it's more fun, of course.
Yeah.
But no, it's
I don't know. I got distracted.
Do you
now.
want to more like you want to love different people and get different things out of each love?
I do. I get different things from each love.
Yeah.
Like we subscribe to that theory that, you know, the fact that one person cannot give you everything.
Yeah, I don't think that you can get everything you need out of life from one person.
Yeah, and if that was the case, we wouldn't have friends. We get something from our friends, and if that was the case too, maybe we would only have one friend. We wouldn't have 3 or 4 friends, and you know, many of us have 2 or 3 good friends, if not best friends, and so you get something different from each of those. And for us, it's like that. Me especially. The love that I get from different partners it's different. It's not what she can give me. It's, you know, and she's, I mean, you know us well enough to know that I'm the emotional basket case, whereas she's the more grounded, what traditionally masculine person. And it's I don't know. It's tough. But I don't know. It works.
Yeah. No, I can understand that.
It's. Yeah.
My difference to that is like with love, I will put everything I love into one thing, and I would like all my eggs go into that basket.
Mm-hmm.
So then I will obviously get other things out of friendships, but I will get everything I try and want out of that one love.
And I can accept that. That makes total sense.
I just don't have the energy.
Yeah, I also don't have the emotional energy because I just can't.
I respect that as well, because it's a lot of fucking work.
Yeah,
it is a lot of work.
One relationship is enough.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
But you know, so how long have you guys been dating?
Year and a half.
Over a year and a half. Yeah.
I don't understand how people like have like side chicks. You know, I know guys who've got side chicks. I don't understand how you.
I have trouble.
It's too hard.
She knows about everyone that's on the side, and I still have trouble juggling people. Yeah. And I find.
No, I think what he means in like not like in relationships that are presumed to be monogamous.
Right. That's what I mean. Yeah. That's what with us being open, it's hard enough to have to lie about it as well. I cannot imagine that.
It's too hard to cover it up.
But you've got to go into other stuff like changing the notifications on your phone, making sure your passwords are a secret because we will find out anything we want to. And just having just backtracking yourself to cover all your tracks. Fuck that.
And just keeping your schedule straight.
Well,
and
Well, I have
to. Also, like at the end of the day, you download, like you come home and you download your day to someone. I can't imagine doing that twice. Do you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't think of anything worse.
You already don't want to tell me what's going on.
Yeah, like I can't stand talking on the phone.
No, but this is your dad.
No, I'm not a phone.
It.
Yeah.
I don't text message.
I'm a texter.
I'm a texter. Call me. Tell me what.
This is T-Way on the phone. This is me. Hey, baby, how's your day going? Yeah, good. Okay, so what have you been up to? I'm just at work. Okay. Am I seeing you later? Yeah. Okay, I gotta go. Bye. And that's probably the longest phone conversation we've ever had.
The reason the phone was invented is so that two people that are very far apart can
have a conversation.
Yeah, no. It's like you know. I'm at the Great Wall. The Huns are coming. You know. Okay, good. I'll warn everybody. Hang up. You know, it's like not. I'm gonna see you. You know, if she calls me at 3:00 in the afternoon, I'm gonna be home at 6.
I've learned though that you don't like talking on the phone.
Talk to me face to face. Like if I talk to you.
That's why I watch trashy TV, so they'll talk to me.
You know, if you talk to each other all day, every day, when you get home, you got nothing to talk about.
You're spot on. I actually do agree with you. We never speak on the phone.
I can't stand it.
The only time we talk on the phone is if we're both at a location where we're like, okay, where are we supposed to be meeting? Yeah. Okay, cool, I'll be there.
Yeah.
And that's
or if you're like at the grocery store, time is of the essence, and you're like, hey, what was it that you needed?
Exactly.
Did you need broccoli or broccolini? I forgot.
Yeah.
Like,
we have this rule kind of when we're not together, we're not like, not that we're not like in a relationship, but if we're not together, we don't talk because you want your own time. And I think a lot of people don't appreciate that now with instant messaging.
Yeah.
That when you're not around your partner, you need your own freaking life because if you don't, then you've got nothing to talk about.
Yeah, like Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, Em works and
I work every night of the week.
Yeah, well, she starts work before I finish work.
Okay.
And on Wednesday, like we might
just don't talk.
If we've got something to say.
Fridays and
but Wednesday we won't talk.
Fridays I might call you and just be like, hey, making sure you had I'm a carer. I want to know that you had a good day, and if you didn't, I want to make it better. But I want to
that sounds exciting.
Wow. Yeah, but like on Wednesdays we don't
Lucky
talk.
man.
Yeah.
Fridays I'll go like, hey, how's your day been? He'll be like, good. I'm like, sweet, love you, bye. And then that's the end for that day.
But then when Thursday comes, I've got a story. I've got something to talk about because we didn't talk to each other on Wednesday, so we've got 2 days worth of things to talk about.
We have a friend. We have two friends that are in a relationship, and they speak all day, every day, constantly messaging, constantly on the phone, Snapchatting. I don't know, any form of communication you can have. And then
Smoke signals.
Yeah.
when you just like, what the fuck do you talk about? Like,
Well, we text a lot during the day. I mean, I say that.
We text. I'm not gonna say a lot. We text some. Usually during the day, we'll get at least a couple of texts from each other.
Yeah.
Admittedly, a lot of it is logistical, as far as like especially when I leave work or whatever.
but it's
I'll
not just like talking
let
about
him
your
know.
day and just talking about
No, no.
random shit.
I mean, there will be a
Yeah,
couple
no.
of those. She has a habit of, at lunch, she'll text and say, how's work going?
Yeah.
And,
Just
you know,
to check in,
Yeah.
make sure you're alive.
Are you alive? Yeah. It's like, did you eat breakfast?
Did you kill yourself today? No? Sweet. I'll make dinner for you tonight.
I think 90% of my text messages to you are dirty anyway.
Yeah, no,
If I get
well,
the
that's what
idea to
we've-
text her,
Yeah.
it's
That's what I've also
something
found with
dirty.
our
Inappropriate.
relationship is that we do sext a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's uncommon with most couples, but
Well, it depends. I mean, if you're like, oh man, I can't wait to get that Cleveland steamer. That's not like, you don't. Oh, this is gonna be great. You're gonna love the next one then. Oh yeah, when you get home, I'm gonna give you such the best blimpie you've ever had.
Blimp?
so
Isn't that a blowjob on the toilet?
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I don't know what you do on the toilet. I don't want to be there for that. No, but our texting is sexting. Like, I'll either send you a picture or you'll be like, I want to be inside you.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I'll go along with
But
this.
I always think like, how's your day going? It's shit. I'm at work. Like,
Yeah.
same as yesterday, same as the last 11
I woke
years.
up and it's a Wednesday. What did you want me to
Yeah,
say?
what's going to be different today?
I woke up and it's still Wednesday.
I don't understand. That question's never.
Yeah.
I've never understood that.
Yeah, it's,
Like,
it's so. Then
I'm at the last place I want to be on the entire planet.
And that's probably
It's
why we
fucking
do.
great.
fair enough.
I love life. I love my job.
Well,
It's Monday.
So the guy that I've been dating recently, we've spoken on the phone once, and he called and I said, "Hey, how's it going? How's the day?" And he's like, "I'm not going to answer that." I was like, "Oh, okay." He goes, "I don't subscribe to the fact that we should discuss pedantic, goofy things." He goes, "You only said that because society has taught you that that's the script that you're supposed to say."
I'm
I
like
want to know
that.
how
And I
your
was
day's
like,
been going.
"Wow!"
Yeah.
And then
But
I
what if you
thought,
had a shit
"That's
day?"
a fucking good point."
Yeah.
And then I said, "Fine. Is the day good?" And he went, "Yes."
Yeah.
And I went, "Cool. What'd you call for?"
Yeah.
And that was great. That
Yeah.
was one of those.
I'm
All
exactly
right.
that. I'm exactly
And
that.
I
Well,
respect that.
whenever I call, I just want to know, has your day gone good or has your day gone bad? And do you want to vent to me about
But that's
it?
a one-word answer. And if it's bad, then I don't want to.
Well, I say, hey,
Bring
baby,
it
how's
to
your day
you,
been? You
'cause
say
that's a
good.
shitty conversation.
End of
It can be.
It's a negative
Well,
conversation.
admittedly, like if I do text him midday or mid-afternoon or whatnot and ask him, how's it going? It's usually to judge because I knew that he had either a really busy day or he was in front of people or whatever, something was going on. And it's a judge of, is it going positively or negatively? And do I need to stop and get any alcohol on the way home or do I not?
Perhaps he needs a blowjob right when I get home.
But
Well, it's also a good
the answer
way
is
to
always
judge.
yes.
Yeah.
The answer is
I
always,
always
did you
need
have
a
a good
blowjob.
day? Oh, I'd love a blowjob. Did you have a bad day?
You don't even know I
Oh,
just love a blowjob.
love a blowjob.
That's going to be my new response. I'm going to
but
need
you
I
just-
need a quick
I-
response.
Blowjob was the answer. What was the
I think
question?
just in a loving relationship, you want to prepare.
Alcohol?
Yeah.
No, I think in a loving relationship, you just want to prepare for how the other person's feeling because you have to give a shit. Like, you just have to. And I just.
I guess. I mean, like, I don't. I mean, I feel like.
'Cause I feel
if
like-
I ask you how your day is, and I'm happy to listen. Like,
But do you really care?
of course I care.
Okay, good.
I care.
Do you care about what happened or do you just care about how she feels about it?
how she feels about
Yeah,
it.
see, that's how I am. I don't care.
Because this is my day.
I care about very little.
There's two options to
I'm-
my day. I went to work or I looked at dog videos all day online and then I ate a donut. And I came to you. The
Okay,
end.
we're gonna have to put a list of dog videos.
I'm really like.
Em's favorite dog videos.
Yeah, I'm really go with the flow. I don't get. I don't like being stressed, so I just choose not to. I'll always.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are very.
I don't get
relaxed.
emotional about very, very many things. I mean, I'm
You just
You're
don't
not
get
very
worked up.
emotional.
yeah, I just refuse to. I don't like getting angry, and I don't like getting
Yeah.
upset. So I just don't.
You just don't.
I just don't. And if it's not something,
which is crazy because I never really understood that mindset until I met you and I spent a lot of time with you. Where he often just says, "Why are you upset? Is it worth it? No, well then don't be." The end.
Yeah.
And then if it is upset,
and if you can change it, then fucking change it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's as simple as that. Like,
yeah, it's as simple as that. And if you can't
like.
change it, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
I
So-
subscribe to that.
That's very much what he's like.
I'm very like wusa, like.
So if I'm like,
zen,
if I feel
zen.
like
if I'm stuck in traffic, I'm like, I'm stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
This is it.
Getting mad is not
This is
gonna
what
change.
I'm doing
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
I'm stuck in traffic.
So
I appreciate that.
I
Yeah.
often have pity parties, and you'll
Yeah.
be like, "Well, why are you upset?" And I'm like, "Meow, meow, meow," and you're like,
And
well,
I'm really like, I think you're a lot better at it now as well. Like you would come home and be like, oh, this girl said this and this girl said that, and
why I
my
don't have
friends
any female
are
friends."
unhappy with each other. And I said, but how does this affect like you? You're making somebody else's problem your own, and
I
you're
just care. I
burdening
just
yourself.
care.
You can care, but not bring it onto yourself.
Yeah, and now I just
You know, these like you
have
know,
a
for
heart
instance,
of
like girls that
stone,
you see
ice.
once
just
every
does
few
nothing
months,
happens.
and you see them once, and then all of their problems are
Yeah,
yours.
no,
It's like I just
yeah.
don't understand that sort of existence.
I used to talk to my mom. My mom would complain and whatnot, and this is a very sexist statement, but still, anyway, I'm going to say it.
It's valid.
I would say, do you want the female answer or the male answer?
Mm-hmm.
And I always subscribe to that. The male answer is a solution. Men are always
Yeah.
thinking about solutions.
Mm-hmm.
When a woman comes to you and says, "God, traffic was terrible," the guy's response is always, "Well,
You left
were
at
on
5
route,
o'clock." Yeah.
You were on route A. Did you
Yeah.
try route B? Did you try route C?
Yeah.
Sometimes route D is good if you take, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Whereas what she may be wanting is the female response, which is compassion, which
Yeah.
is, "Oh, I know, right? Fuck traffic."
Yeah, yeah.
And so I would do
Yeah.
I still
Punch
do
your
that with my
steering
mom.
wheel, yeah.
Yeah. My mom complains about something. I'm like, "Oh, do you want the male response or the female response?" And my mom's like, "Start with the female and then move to the male." And I'm like, "Okay, I can do that." And my mom and I had this great
Yeah.
relationship where we can say that.
And
And
that's-
now you do that to me sometimes.
And I was gonna say that's why I wear the strap on, is because I usually provide the male response.
Yes,
You can
good.
fuck any problem.
Yeah.
I love you, girl.
Yeah, no, I'm very much like that as well.
I can do both.
Yeah.
I just have to know which
I'm not very
mindset.
good at the other one.
And admittedly, I am, because of Mr. Adam and his mother and whatnot, I'm more cognizant now of what people want. And so when somebody starts to complain, I very rarely do I ask them, but I'll kind of think in my head, are they looking for the female or the male
Do they want a
response?
solution or compassion?
And so I kind of think about that. And there are a lot of times where my gut reaction is to give them a solution, but I'm like, no, that's not what they want, or I don't think that's what they want. And so I'll kind of go back on that and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 whatever. But I'm more cognizant of it now. It's still bloody hard for me to give a female response.
I think I'm not. Compassion is not really one of
You're
my.
not compassionate in the slightest.
But
But I'd say that in the most loving way
but
possible, but you're not
I'm
compassionate.
compassionate
at
for
all.
people that can't help themselves.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Puppies and
Puppies,
babies.
or I've done a lot of travel. I've
Yeah.
been to a lot of third world
Yeah,
countries,
right, but you are
and
not-
towards homeless people.
No,
things
but
like
in
that,
every day-to-day
I'm
life, you're
very
not a compassionate
but,
person.
But if I see someone as an equal and you're just wallowing about in your own self
whinging
pity,
and-
I just don't have time.
Whereas I'm very...
sort yourself out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Pull up
you're-
your bootstraps.
pull up your
Yeah,
bootstraps.
you don't care.
Get on with it. You know what I mean?
You're very much...
You
I got
create
through
your own
something
environment.
similar.
You
can
create
get
your
through
own
this.
environment, whether that's positive or negative, or
Absolutely.
and you choose. And no matter what the situation is, if something happens, you have a choice, whether you're conscious of it or not, to choose how you react to it. So if you stub your toe, you can yell and you can scream, or you can just be silent
really
and,
funny,
and
like-
get on with it. Do you know what I mean? And that's my sort
That's
of
really funny
view
because
on
you
it.
see that in like when you have a toddler and they'll like fall over, and then you should say to the toddler, "You're okay, you're not hurt," and they're like, "Yeah, no, I'm fine." But if you go, "Oh, are you okay? Did you hurt?" and they'll start crying because they'll choose
that's-
the emotion of being sad and hurt.
And that's what one of my friends does. Doesn't have any children of his own, but was raised with, I don't know, bunches of siblings and nieces and nephews, whatever. And he's awesome with them in that when a child falls, you know, a lot of parents will go like, "Oh, are you okay?" Blah blah. And
You
same
must
thing,
be hurt.
right? What you were saying,
Yeah.
but when they fall in front of him, he's like, "Yes, that was awesome,
Yeah.
well done,"
Yeah.
you know, and
they learn to
and they
choose
get
that
that
emotion.
pause, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, okay,"
Yeah.
and they start smiling
Yeah.
and get right up, and it's like you only think you're hurt if somebody tells you.
There's a great book called The Happiness Advantage by Sean Aker,
Yeah.
and he talks about that. It's that whole you set your mind's goalposts for things,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's either good or it's bad. And if you focus on the good in a situation like that, you're focusing on let's focus on good stuff, not negative stuff, and the good stuff overpowers the bad stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, how long were you guys dating before you started using the L word?
A long time.
Oh, tough topic. I
sensitive
knew.
or-
No, we can talk about it. I knew I was in love with him after about 6 months, and I said that to you, but you weren't ready for that until a year after we started dating.
I think even longer.
It was just after a year, yeah.
Yeah.
It's around a year. But I think that has a lot to do with your history of
Yeah.
relationships.
I got burnt pretty bad.
and I was the
in the
first girl
last
since
relationship.
that
Yeah.
he actually dated.
Okay.
So, and
you're
you
just
know me,
reticent.
I'm all in.
That's me too.
And as
yeah.
soon as I know that I love you, I want you to know, because I want to just go all out so I know that I have no regrets.
Yeah.
So as soon as I knew that I loved you, I wanted you to know. And it was hard for a while because I was there and I was waiting for you to get there.
And for me as well, like like for my previous relationship was 6 years, 17 to 23.
Wow, okay.
I was engaged. If I felt it from like the beginning, like if I felt it like inside from the beginning, and I guess, and then when that all sort of finished, I put up all these walls, like so many walls, and when we started dating, when we were together for like a year and a half, I knew that I really liked
it was
her.
like a year and a half when you liked me.
No, sorry, a
Jesus,
year.
that's
I
now.
knew that I really liked her, but I was waiting. I knew that she loved me, but I just
You would always say you were waiting for that spark.
yeah, I just didn't feel it. Like I knew it, but I didn't.
But that was around like
feel it.
9
I
months
was-
or whatever, and
yeah.
Well, was that because you had the walls up as well?
It was because he had the walls
absolutely,
up.
absolutely. But I was just sort of, I was kind of just waiting for something to sort of click over, like tick into place, and I knew it was sort of there. It was teetering
And
on
I
the edge,
think-
but you know what happens? It's like when someone says they love you, then you're almost you feel
obligated to say, I love you too.
and then yeah, exactly. And I didn't
That's
want
what
her to say
happened.
it because that was going to make it like
And
I
I'd
was
get
going
really
through my
upset
own.
because you wouldn't say it back.
Yeah, I was going through my own internal struggle where I knew that it was coming, just wasn't there yet. And then she said it, and then I was like, now I'm like really stuck because now you're putting this obligation, like you're giving me this obligation, and it's like now it doesn't mean if I say it now,
Doesn't mean
it
anything.
keeps you happy, but it means nothing to me. Like
Well, you actually said
mean,
it.
I actually think that's better to
know,
not say it. I think
Yeah.
I find that more
Yeah.
respectable to say thank you.
exactly, but I just it
But
put me in a
he
really
was-
difficult place
he-
for a few months, you know.
He was really understanding in the fact that he'd say, look, I'm not there. I'm gonna get there, but I'm not there. And it took me a while
That's
to
very
grasp
respectable
that.
to say
Yeah.
that, though.
It took me a while to grasp that and be like, that's fine. And I had to understand that he's had a different past to what I've had. I've never been in the situation that he's been in. And for some reason, as the romantic I am, I knew that as soon as he'd get in that place, it'd be worth it.
Yeah.
And I knew, like, you just have a feeling with someone that, you know, once they're there, that like it's got to be worth it. And
that's just-
it just took longer than you than it did me, and that's fine.
The
like,
word it's too powerful. It's too.
and that's and
It's
see,
just-
for
it's
you
too-
because no, I think that's also because of your experience of being engaged, and that word of love meant back then not an eternity, but like a lifetime with someone, and that didn't happen.
Yeah. I
Now
understand.
that word, you're like, well, I've already said that, and I've been that place. I don't want to feel that way I did then. Now. Because it makes you very much more
Well, the
vulnerable.
negative part
Yeah,
of
it
it.
did, but
Yeah,
you
right,
have that
yeah.
vulnerability
Yeah,
again
well,
that it
no
could
one wants
make
to
you
get.
hurt.
I just didn't want
No
to
one
get.
No
wants to
one
get
wants to
hurt.
get burned.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas because I'm a lover, as if I have feelings for you, you're gonna fucking know, and I'm
I'm
very
the
much
same.
give that
I
all
think the same
in.
way.
But I'm very aware of it very quickly, and it took me a while to understand that you're not as fast as me.
And see, I'm the same way. I'm very quick. Like I think I start falling in love almost I won't say almost immediately, but it's fucking close. But I think I knew that I loved her, Mrs. Adam here. I'm pointing at you like everybody can see.
Yeah. It's not a vlog. You've told me that.
We have a camera set right now. I'm not sure if it's going to the podcast or for something else, but...
Honey, the camera's over here.
Oh!
Did you wave at the one in the bathroom? I know, suddenly it gets awkwardly quiet because you're like, this could be real.
There was a camera.
No, but I think like within the first 2 or 3 weeks, I was like, this girl is special. And like I did love, and I still.
There's a word for that. It's limerence.
What's
limerence? It's all the feelings of love without actually being in love.
Oh, I like that. I didn't know
Limerence. That's a nice.
I don't even think that word's in the dictionary.
You made that up?
No,
We can make it real.
Not a priest, but like a past someone who runs a church. That's cool. He said that.
Church authority.
Limerence.
That's cool.
Yeah, I can accept
Limerence.
that.
Yeah.
But I can understand that. Like, you have the feelings and you want to love someone, but you don't love them. You
It's that feeling.
You adore them in every way but love.
Maybe
like,
you
Yeah.
adore the idea
I think-
of them.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think you can love someone within 2 weeks. I don't think it's possible.
I
And
don't
that's
think
really-
that you can,
But
but
that's
I,
limerence.
No,
That's why the
no.
word exists.
So I would argue that I think it's situational because I think it depends on a lot of things. It depends, number one, on your definition of love, and what love feels like for you. Because for instance, like alcohol treats us all differently. It makes some people emotional. It makes some people quiet. It makes some people suicidal. It makes some people, the life of the party. It's one of those things that it strips all of the outer layers and brings you to the core of who you are.
Yeah.
And I think that love is the same way. That it is a drug. You want that feeling of love. You're longing for that, and you're looking for that.
Because realistically, all human beings want to belong.
Yeah,
And they
you wanna be
feel
a part of that
sense
group.
belonging.
What's the
And
fastest you can fall in love then?
Well, you don't know. I think
I think
it depends
it's a
on
very
where
individual.
Oh, I believe in love at first sight. I really do. I believe that there's those people that you within at first sight, not you
First
you have,
interaction?
First interaction. You have that date with somebody, and it's like that's love for me is a chain. And that if that first link is welded properly, fine. It's not a true chain, but it is the beginnings of a chain.
But on a first date,
I think it
everyone
has to
wants
depend on where
think-
you are personally
Sure, but
when you enter
everyone-
that date. If you're on a
everyone-
stage where you're ready, like you are open, you are
Sure, but everyone
ready
claims
for that.
everyone wants that person to be their true self. But on a first date, you're
Full of
whether you
nerves.
like to admit it or not. I feel like you're putting on a show.
It also depends on what you consider a date. Because if you're considering the first date as to when two people meet at a bar, maybe not. But it could just be interactions. Like if you worked with somebody that you then became interested in, is the date then something work? Is it when you're at work together? Is it when you go to lunch together, maybe with a group or maybe separately? Or is it when you do go out with them one-on-one to a bar? Like, does it have to be, is it situational or locational, or is it just a date considered any kind of interactions with
I
that
just think
person?
you can. I think on that sort of basis, you can really, 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 really like someone. You can really, really like them based on these interactions. But to truly love somebody,
You have to like them when they're not a nice person.
You have to like them when their dog gets run over, and you have to like them when they're broke or when they lose their job.
Or when
and
they're
that's
sick
love.
every week of the month.
That's love.
That being
That's
said, though,
me.
some people won't actually have the chance to fall in love with someone until 20 to 30 years into a relationship. It may be a very long time before something very detrimental happens and you see someone in that state.
I think
it's-
you can
but
know
it's-
if you love someone if you still like them when they're not their best self.
I'd like to meet the person
I
that's
think
lived
that's-
20, 30 years without something shitty happening to them.
Not something shitty, but you said like their dog gets run over. I mean, it's like something
or a family
bad.
member
Yeah.
dies. And I
but-
know
but-
what both of you all are saying, because I think both of you all
And I think that's
are
where
right.
this limerence word comes in. It's like all the
You found the
feelings.
definition.
Yeah, I did.
She
Oh, don't quote me on this, please.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
So
God.
pressure's on.
Oh God.
So TY, you said this.
Read it to yourself.
The
Did you
answer
read it
is
already,
this.
or are you reading
I've
it
read
live?
I read
You
it.
do not get the
And
million
it's good
dollars.
enough that
Oh,
you're
my
close
God.
enough.
Come on, please. Let me just say this was like 16 years ago. I heard this.
Limerence, also infatuated love, is a state of mind which results from a romantic attraction to another person and typically includes obsessive thoughts and fantasies and a desire to form or maintain a relationship with the object of love and have one's feelings reciprocated.
So I think that's
Oh,
spot
boom.
on to what you said.
Yeah.
Oh.
You just sounded like a goddamn
done.
genius.
See, see why.
Look at you.
So confident we are after we already know. No,
And you'll
but
keep talking.
and I'll accept that. So that what I feel immediately is limerence. Because I like that for the object of love. You want to move into that love. And what you're saying is that you can't truly love something without seeing it at its very best and its very worst.
Yeah, you can't.
Or having been seen at your very best and the very worst.
Yeah, you can't think of it like a dice. You can't love it until you've seen all of its sides.
I think
I never see sixes though. It's like fucking boxcars. You keep rolling for it and you just can't.
And I guess the same thing is with the dice. One side was always facing down. You can't see all sides at once.
Yeah. So
that's my sort of.
I like that. That's a good analogy. Actually.
You need experience. Love comes from experience.
I also I want to agree with you. However, I don't completely, because you're never going. I think it's unrealistic to think that you're going to see all of everyone's sides within a reasonable amount of time to say that you love them or not. But at some point you love them and you like them. You've seen enough sides of them, maybe not every side, but enough to know that whatever other side there is, you can deal with, you can work with, you can, it's acceptable.
Yeah, absolutely. I just don't think you can do that within a few hours or even a few weeks. Personally, for me personally, I think that there's just not enough time in a day.
I would agree. Weeks, it depends on your interactions, I think.
Yeah, and I still, maybe it is. I'll accept that it's limerence, but for me, limerence and love are nearly synonyms. They're nearly the same thing.
That's the point. They give you the same feeling. That's the idea. It is the same feeling, but it's not.
Right.
That's the whole point.
I think that this goes back to the fact that, like, you and I, Mr. Adam, are very open to the idea of love. We're very ready to grab onto that handlebar with both hands
and just
and
let my
go
feet
for the
fly
ride.
and like,
whee! I will trust in that.
Yeah.
Whereas you're probably not as TY as ready to just go, oh yeah, this looks like it could be this. Everything all in.
And that's the way she is,
And
Mrs. Adam as well.
I'm probably not
Mrs.
as
Adam as
reticent
well.
as him, but I'm
But
still
you're-
very.
So I will accept the fact that limerence could lead into love and go, yep, this is it, I'm done. All hands on deck, everybody party.
Because I'm pretty sure the first time I said I love you to her, the response I got was, that's nice. Not even a thanks.
I also like the color of the wall.
So I wouldn't be able to be that cold. I feel like my personality is so conflicting, like in my own head. Like on one hand, like back to compassion, like I would if someone like if when Em said that she loved me, I couldn't say that's nice.
Well, no, do you remember when I first said I loved you? We were in an argument.
Apparently he blocked that from his memory.
Oh yeah, I think
Do you remember
man.
remember that we had an argument? You were like, it was all to do with this trip that we're about to go on.
Oh,
You're like,
yeah.
I want to go on the trip. And I was
Yeah.
like, but I love you.
Yeah. No,
And you were
I
like, okay. Let's put the handbrake on.
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, no, that reminds me.
So
You're at a 7. I need you to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. But see,
Yeah.
I would be very conscious of how my response made.
Wait,
No, but
so
you were.
did you guys
Yeah.
talk about, you didn't say I love you and then you talked about it. You guys talked about the feelings of love before either one of you actually said I love you.
did we?
No, I think
I think
Because
I
that's
just
the way-
said it.
what
I
I
think
I
Em
just
said that she
it.
loved me, and then
What did
I
you-
started talking about.
A trip.
No,
You said, well, I want to get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
And it's not
a
with
few more
you.
factors in
Yes.
there.
No, I
I need
think-
my phone. What are you doing? Uber.
I'm booking a one-way ticket out of the country. No, I think we were having this discussion.
You said you loved me, and then
I said I loved you because you were saying I want to go, and I said, but I don't want you to go because I love you. And then you're like, oh, and then we just kind of discussed the fact that you said you're not there yet, blah blah blah.
Gotcha.
And then every time there was a few more times after that because it's hard. Like it was hard for me because when you look at your partner and you go, fuck, I love you, like you're just the best. And I just want to say it, so sometimes I would say it and you'd be like, oh fuck man, just stop saying that shit. Like, you're making me feel like a piece of shit. Like
I think also, and I don't know if I've sort of, I don't want to say admitted this, but coming off like a terrible breakup, like a terrible relationship where I got, not a terrible relationship, but a relationship where I
Right.
got burned.
Yeah.
And then before that relationship, I didn't have many partners. Like I was 17, I was young. I sort of went full head first into a serious relationship, which I then got engaged. I think my sexual partners were 3 maybe, at age 22. And then I went on a rampage, absolute rampage, and kind of lived this life of not caring and being not a player. I've never really been a player, but not getting involved with anybody. And then kind of came back from traveling and made the conscious decision that I wanted to.
But you put yourself in a mental state where you were ready for that
I was
option.
like, look, I want a relationship, and
Right.
then I met Em, and I got into the relationship. Was like, right, I'm ready for a relationship. Right, got a girlfriend now. I'm in a relationship, without ever really sort of taking into account that I might actually fall in love, or that love was even an option, or that like I kind of like we entered it thinking, oh, this will be good for now, kind of thing.
I think we both went into we both went to the relationship of going, oh, this is fun for now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we only sort of went on 1 or 2 dates before I asked him to be my girlfriend. Yeah. Thanks.
Oh wait, you actually asked that?
Yeah, a bit lame. But that just goes
I think
to
that's
show.
fantastic.
But that just goes to show.
Yeah.
Really
That just goes to
cute.
show, like,
That's really sweet.
I've never actually asked that
You even said
question
that.
before. You know,
said, I've never said this before.
yeah,
but
like that shows my ignorance
it-
about that whole sort of thing, because my previous relationship, we were like friends for a long time, and then we sort of just fell in, and having that sort of
And that was the next
conversation,
thing that
I didn't
happened
know how that.
it happened.
Worked.
But I've said to you guys
No,
before.
But I knew I
sense.
wanted it.
it's
I knew I
just-
wanted it, and I was
Yeah.
just like, okay,
Yeah.
so should I just ask?
Yeah.
And then I did. So yeah, entering the relationship, and obviously we got together very quickly. I never sort of considered that being
would
in love,
go.
or that it could, and I kind of just thought, oh well, I'll just sort of end it or whatever, but
Wow.
sounds really horrible.
It does. It does sound dark, but I understand what you mean. And
Yeah,
So should I be going on this one-way ticket with you?
absolutely.
Or where are we going?
Absolutely.
Don't worry, honey, you're gonna die.
It's alright, we'll die on Everest. It's okay. It'll be
Yeah,
romantic.
Absolutely. But yeah, and then it kind of, I
think both of us went into the relationship never thinking it would, and I will even admit to you that we both never really thought it would be more than just one of those boyfriends that you had, or one of those partners you had, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you broke up.
You're gonna be a
and
good story.
Yeah, it was just someone in your history, and then
Like, I've got friends that have had relationships and they go, oh yeah, I had a girlfriend. How long did it last? 2 months. Or like, oh, I had a 6 months relationship.
We were talking to Hollywood about that. His
I don't-
longest relationship is 6 months.
Yeah, I don't have that.
3
Like,
months.
3 months.
Like I've
Yeah.
had one, well, obviously 2 now, but one relationship, and that was 6 years.
yeah.
And by that, like, I've always sort of said this, like, at 17, you're not even a man yet. You're not even who you are yet. Like,
Yeah.
you're still forming who you are. And all of my experiences between 17, actually, when I met her, I was 15. So between 15 and 23,
When you're becoming a
when she
human.
left my life, all of my experiences day to day was with this person, and I only knew how to be TY with this person. There was no TY, there was only TY.
There was no
And
TY single.
God, that's
this girl.
Yeah.
And that was a big shock for me, like after like being 23 and going to a bar and trying to pick a girl up.
and you've never done
And
that.
I've never done it.
Yeah,
I've never
no.
picked a girl up at
Yeah.
a party. I had zero game. I think I've got any game now, but that zero game. And it's like trying to all these things that my friends had done at 16. Because like when I was 15, I was like, this girl she's the one. Like,
Yeah.
So between 15 and 17, just sort of trying to make this relationship happen until it did. I didn't like sleep with anybody else. I didn't kiss anybody else. Like, it was just laser focus. And then being 23 and then being like, wow, like, what do I do? Like, that you wake up in the morning and all you know is this person across from you. It's like almost like looking in a mirror, and then it's gone. And then I really felt lost for a long time. And then obviously sort of gained a little bit of confidence, and then went on this trip and this rampage of traveling the world and trying to get as much experience as I could. So then coming back and then being like, right, I'm ready for a relationship again. and I wasn't. Like, I
Yeah.
wasn't.
You weren't
I wasn't
ready
at all.
for it.
I was ready for the
I
idea.
think you really wanted to be ready for it, but you weren't.
I just
And
wasn't
then
at all. Like,
It took us a while to be. I think we were both, because I had just had, before I met you, I had just had my heart broken by someone else, and I wasn't over him when we started dating. I wasn't ready for something else, and I think both of us were in that point where we really wanted to be in this, but we weren't, and we were just finding comfort in the fact that I think we subconsciously both knew that we were at the same stage, and then we just kind of grew together. And then grew into these new people, because every time you get your heart broken and you try new things, you grow a little bit differently. And I think we just kind of grew together differently than what we were before we.
yeah.
And the important thing is that you grow together.
Yeah.
And I
absolutely.
think that's what it was, and we
Yeah.
and that's the good thing, that we're at these stages of both our lives where we were just kind of like, I don't know what to do. We met each other, not really at the same level and with the same wants and needs, and then kind of just morphed into this one oak tree where we do have the same wants and needs now. But that's kind of the beauty of a relationship. You do grow into a person that you never imagined.
I know exactly what you mean, because my first wife, we started dating when we were 18, but we met when we were 14 and started dating when we were 18. And then for the very long time, it was just me and her and I didn't have my own unique individual identity. And I think that was part of the thing that killed me for a long time. It was weighing on me. It was like, there was no just me. There was always me and her.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, we shared all the same friends.
Yeah.
We had no individual friends. We shared, everything was shared between us. And that was the case from the time until I was 28, maybe. I don't remember how old I was when we finally moved to the new.
It was probably around there.
Yeah, around there, and I got a new job, and we moved to a new location, and that's when I started traveling. And as soon as I started traveling, that's when opportunities come up.
Yeah.
Because if you're away from Monday through Friday, away from home, it was very easy to hook up with somebody. But even then, once you're back home, you are that couple. You're part of a whole solid thing.
Unity that you've created.
I feel like she and I have met, Mrs. Adam and I are able to create individual identities, and that we aren't always just the two of us. But I know, and I think you would be a good person to ask, Em, because you only see us pretty much together. You've seen us separately, but
I've seen you mostly together or together with one other or together with another couple, but always together, never one.
Yeah,
without
rarely
the
are we
other.
separate at the bar.
No.
Only if one's traveling or
Yeah.
something. But
Yeah.
But I think it's important that we have these individual identities because of what you just described. I was both miserable once that I was single again, but the entire time I was part of that whole, I felt like there was something missing because
I agree with that completely though. Like, you have to have your life without your other.
Yeah.
And there's what is the point of having an other if you don't have anything to contribute to that? Because if you're both just one entity and neither of you can contribute to something to that because you're just this one thing.
Yeah.
And you've morphed into one. If you have your own life, and like the good thing that TY always says is that people in a relationship, you're on a parallel path. And for as long as you're together, you're on this parallel path. And then at one point, maybe there's a chance that one path might stray and go a different way. And that's okay because you have grown into a different person. But a relationship should just be you and this person, and you share this path, and then that's it. But you're your own people, not we are each other's worlds, and we are everything of the other.
Yeah.
And for me, much like the two gentlemen here, I jumped into a pretty serious relationship very young. I was married at 19, and we were married for 10 years. And shortly after that, I jumped into another relationship that didn't last very long. And it wasn't until after that one that for me, the second failed marriage was kind of like, okay, something is clearly not right here. I need to figure out who I am before I can even think about going into another relationship. And so for me, like when Mr. Adam and I met, a relationship was not on my mind. I had taken some time out to figure out who I was, what I wanted, and I was just doing my own thing, completely irrespective of anybody else around, and that may sound cold and callous, but it's true. And I just wanted to have my own world the way I wanted it, and other people, other than like my good friends, but as far as a relationship goes, other people were ancillary. I didn't want anything like that. And I think ultimately that put me in a good place for when I did meet Mr. Adam, that I was comfortable with who I was going into a relationship, and I wasn't trying to be somebody that I wasn't. I could only be myself.
I go back to that theory. I have a theory of when you have the opportunity to be selfish, be selfish. When it's not gonna hurt someone else, be selfish, because that's when you truly find out who you are. And when you can do everything that's going to make you better as a person, as an individual, then do that.
And going back to how we said earlier that like on Wednesdays we won't talk to each other, and for me, obviously, having this relationship where it was only me and her and never just me. I've spent the last, I'm 28 now, so that relationship ended at 23. I've spent the last 5 years trying to find who I am, and I've got hobbies now that I didn't have back then, and there's things that I like to do that I didn't back then, and I've become this person that I am now. So when you have a day apart from each other to sort of do what you want
just without do your own thing.
No, but it's nice, like, even like, so because we don't live together and we spend a few nights, like half the week apart, and there'll be like a few consecutive nights that we won't see each other. I'll miss you by the end of it. And then like last week when I saw you on the, oh my God.
As a side note, just to interrupt.
A banana pudding has just come out.
We've been chatting for a while. I was like, let's bring out the fucking banana pudding.
Mr. Adam brought out dessert.
And it's kind of nice to miss your partner. And like last week we had hardly seen each other, and then Saturday afternoon I saw you and I was like, wow,
it builds
I
that
missed your
appreciation.
little face, and I want to talk to you about my week, and I actually want to hear about how your week has been. I don't just want to say it because it's courteous. I want to say it because I love you and I want to know.
Right.
And I have nothing else to
But also,
about.
it's important to sort of, like, once you get these hobbies and you find out who you are, it's important to sort of continue that, like, while you're in your relationship, like, to do your own thing. Like, I'm very, my sort of, I don't know what the word is, but my outlook on a relationship is that you are two separate people who are choosing, it's just going back to this idea of being two people on a parallel path. You're two people on a parallel path, and you are separate, but you choose to do things together. And for as long as your decisions work with each other and you can continue on that parallel path, you stay together. But as soon as, obviously there's compromise, but as soon as you want to do something that the other person doesn't, that's when your paths might stray. And I don't mean stray like into another bed, but stray as in just go your separate ways.
We had that challenge when you said you wanted to travel the world, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Yeah. And for everyone who's listening, we are about to, in 7 weeks, 49 days. Well, 7 weeks, which is 49 days minus 1 hour. We are going on a 2-year long trip. But when that first brought up, T.Y. wanted to go on this trip, and I didn't know how I felt about that, and that wasn't something that I had planned for my life. And it wasn't until our paths were both on this track that we thought, well, we can do this as a couple.
Yeah.
But that goes back to that you didn't realize it was a path that you could take until he brought it up, and it was like, oh, because I think that sort of happened with us a couple of times in life. When we first started dating, it was very clear that neither one of us wanted to be monogamous, but at the same time, we really liked each other and we kind of wanted to be together. And until we brought that up, it didn't happen. And then this move down here, this was an opportunity that I had, and she had no, she didn't have a job, but it was like, oh, well, yeah, let's do this.
We'll find a way. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
And it's
and I think it sort of touches on what you're saying. If the person is important enough, you can bend your path. Your path can still be parallel.
Just with a slight kink in it, and then you find a new
Some
parallel.
of our paths have a lot of kinks in them.
Kinks every direction.
But I'm also as well, like, just for sort of doing your own thing. Like, I don't helicopter at all. I and I don't expect to be helicoptered. My only rules are don't lie and don't do shady shit. You know,
That seems fair enough.
do what you fucking like. Like, if you want to go to Spain for a week, all right, go. Like, I'm not going to say...
Like our theory in our relationship is very much you do you and I'll still love you. Like you do you and that's fine by me. And if I want to join you on that, I'll do it.
Yeah,
and if
just don't lie.
I can't join you on that, then we'll find a way.
Don't be shady.
So does that let's say, for instance, you meet someone somewhere and you're like, this person is hot, and you have a one night stand with that person.
No, I don't mean like I'm not talking about.
You're talking about life choices.
Just life choices,
necessarily...
as in like, you know, we have friends and they have like a job, and their job means they need to travel a lot, and one of them might be upset that they're always traveling.
Right.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's unfair.
Don't hold them back.
Don't hold your partner back.
Don't hold them back. And if you want to do something, do it. You know, like.
But I think what you're saying has to go back to the fact that neither of us have the capacity to open that attraction and love to another person. That's like we don't have the mindset where we can.
Yeah,
some people do have it, and some people don't have it. I think.
No, it's not for
everyone.
everyone.
And I think
Absolutely
neither
not.
of us have the mindset where we're comfortable with having multiple partners.
Yeah.
I would
Which is
say it's only really a very small percentage of the
It's a-
population.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I kind of I don't want to say me personally, but my ex used to be bisexual, and she used to have certain girls that she liked, and I was kind of like, look, like this doesn't really affect me. Like I don't really mind you going sort of.
But would it be
have
different
fun.
if she had other guys that she
that
liked?
that was not okay, you know.
But
like,
is
for
that
me.
why? Is that because
I'm
the
not
girls,
threatened by
the
girls.
Well, yeah. Is that because the girls had something
Yeah.
you couldn't offer?
Yeah, I'm not, and I think that.
But you've even
no,
said
but
that
it's
to
the same.
me.
It's the same thing. It's like I wouldn't hold her back. So if she wanted, like I've got a dick. If she wants dick, she can get it from me. You know.
Yeah, if she
so
wants.
if she wants to try out anything with girls, then yeah, go.
That's
like
not something you can offer.
you know,
to her.
like it's not something that I can offer. So, and I don't want to sort of. If you're, I guess, like, you know, I'm sure that you would know if you're bisexual, then you do have feelings towards the other person, and it's something that I couldn't give. So I wasn't going to say no, you can't do that, because I wasn't threatened. I'm not a very jealous person.
But you've also said that to me. I've brought up the idea of having other girls and whatever, and you said if that's something that you want, you need to talk to me. You need to talk to me because that's something.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, if you wanted to have a threesome with a girl because you wanted to have an experience with a girl, I'd be okay with that, and not just because I want to have an experience.
Right.
But if you wanted to have a threesome with another guy, I've done that before. I don't want to do it again. You know, and you know, it doesn't interest me. I've got sort of, you know, and it's not.
Is it that because
it's not
like
so
if
much
I
I
wanted
feel
that experience
threatened.
from that guy, I can like the experience from a guy that you can get sexually, I can get from you, whereas the
Yeah.
experience from a girl sexually, I can't get from
Exactly.
you, so I can find that from someone else.
Exactly. That's,
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of my view. It's not. I'm not like I've done it, and I just didn't enjoy it. It wasn't really because I was jealous, or because I felt threatened.
We always call ourselves trisexuals. We like to try something, and
Oh,
then
you know, I'm
after
big
you
into that, yeah.
and after you try it, then you know whether you like it or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
until you do,
Yeah, exactly.
can
And-
you really say?
And I
Yeah.
did. I tried, and
Yeah, like-
and I.
And it's not for you, and
No.
that's okay.
Yeah.
No, and
That's okay.
even
You don't
even
have
like
to
even
like
even like
everything.
another, like I'm not like asking him like every month, oh, can we please bring another girl into the bedroom? I really don't. I'm just not.
You
interested.
don't,
I've done it, and yeah, it's nice, but you know, one's enough.
You don't need it.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
need it. But if it's something that you really wanted to do, then that avenue is open.
It's open.
Is open. The other avenue is not. But
Thanks.
that avenue is, and that's not because of me. But that's just if you wanted to do it,
Yeah.
then.
But what would you say, like, for instance, you say that so if I wanted something sexually that comes from a male, I could get that from you, but what would you say, like, if I wanted just the sexual experience of a one-night stand just all over again, what would you say to that? Like, we're in a monogamous relationship, but I want that feeling from a one-night stand. I wanted that tap and gap gone.
I think I don't know. I think it's dangerous. I think that's dangerous.
Yeah.
I think
So
you know sometimes you want to try everything, but it's not always a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
well,
apparently
it's easy to say that. It is easy to say
Yeah.
that. But having done it in the past, all of us have had the now that I know what it means, the tap and gap.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all done that. And so does it make it
Is it okay that because we're okay now, that we shouldn't do it again? But we've already experienced it once and we were fine. And human nature, it's a completely different. But the other side of that is what you can do. What she and I have talked about doing is you both go meet separately at a bar, and one of you tries to pick the other one up.
See if you can do it.
I would love to do that.
It sort of recreates that.
I told you I've got no game whatsoever.
But that's just it.
But
so
I love that scenario of being picked.
You don't have to be the one that picking her up. She can be the one that tries to pick you up. And so
I would just come up to him and be like, hey, and whatever my line is, he'd be like, yeah, let's go. And I'm like, just flirt with me for 2 hours. Jesus.
But
have a heart on for as long as you can, and then we'll go home.
But that's part of that thing is you can make these unsafe situations safe if you recreate them yourselves.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. A big problem for me, just my previous relationship. Like I said, she was my first sexual partner, and then the other two that I had, or three, I can't remember.
Dude, I was only with one female sexual partner until I was 34.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're preaching to the bloody choir over here.
I'm saying then. So obviously we went to some parties and stuff like that. So by the end of a relationship, my number had gone up, and then I always felt like I said, look, I love you. All I want to be is with you, but I feel like I've missed
this stage of your life.
I've missed this thing, this one night stand, this.
Yeah.
It was almost like a holy grail to me, you know. It's like I've everyone around me has had this experience.
Whereas I got out of a relationship at 18 and had that typical slut stage where you go, all right, every man that wants to talk to me will get in.
Yeah, and I think that's normal. I think it's
healthy.
I think it's really
and
healthy.
I think it's normal to get that kind of stuff.
I think it's really healthy based on the fact that you gain a lot of fucking confidence getting naked in front of random people.
Yeah.
Sex is another part of it, but the fact that you are willing to meet someone, you go, yeah, you like me, you find me attractive, and that gives you just that little boost every time. That if you do that enough,
and that's what we've always said, is that confidence is sexy.
Yeah,
confidence is sexy, and every person needs confidence, and you need to have that experience of going home with random people that you don't fucking know, and you don't care about their personality, and they don't care about yours. That you get that confidence of going, I am a catch. Because you need to know, if you're meeting people or you're meeting friends or whoever is in your life, you need to know that you are a catch. Because everyone is in there one way or another. But you get that from going on dates and meeting up, making new friends and having one night stands, from all these different experiences that are sometimes, I don't know.
And everybody has something to offer. You just have to find it and be confident in yourself that you have something somebody wants.
And for me, I can talk to anyone. I can talk to a fucking brick wall if I have to.
We've seen it happen.
We have seen it happen. So my confidence issues don't lack in that. Mine more lack in my body and my physical appearance. So for me to boost my confidence, it was to have one night stands, and that made me feel better about myself. Whereas some people, it might be in their conversational skills, they don't think they're funny, or they don't think they're intelligent, so they need to go on dates, or they need to meet up with people and have conversations, and that boosts their confidence. They might find themselves attractive, and they don't need to have that sexual experience. They need to have the more intellectual experience, and that boosts their confidence. So I think this, as you call it, slut stage, is very, very vital in either going sexually and boosting your confidence in one night stands, or boosting your confidence in serial dating people and just getting intellectually confident.
It 100% goes both ways for men and women as well.
Yeah.
And my ex had actually said to me, I can see this as an issue for you, go out and have this experience. And I couldn't do it. And I was there was occasions where I met girls and then sort of brought them home, together. But in terms of going out and sort of going to another person's house or wherever, I couldn't do it. And obviously once that relationship ended and I went out and had the one night stand, I was like, this is shit. Like, this is not what I.
This doesn't feel nice.
This
isn't like TV at all.
Yeah, I'm
I
hammered.
don't look good at 8
The
a.m.
sex is terrible.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's the other thing.
The
Is
room
there's-
smells all the time.
There's a lot of swingers that they'll have the one and done. They meet a couple, they hook up with them, and they never talk to them
Yeah.
again. First time sex is
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
good. It's
Yeah.
always awkward. It's always, you don't know your partner really. You're trying to read them. You're
Well, I
trying
agree
to.
with that completely. Like, I hate one night stands based on the fact that
It's a lot of work.
yeah,
It's 'cause
like
you're
we
I have no idea what
we
we're
found
doing.
that over 18, 19 months of dating that our sex has gotten amazing. Like,
Yeah.
Like
incredible.
in the last well,
6 months or so.
and but even
Yeah.
still
every
ramping up.
Yeah.
single time it gets better because we're slowly learning what the other person wants, and you can tell by how it starts as to if you want to have loving sex or you want to have I'm gonna just treat
Animalistic.
you like a piece of like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
are my log and I'm gonna ride you like
that's a
no but like
You've had
learn-
so many one-liners.
No, but you learn that in a partner, and that's what I find. But some people don't want that. Some people don't want a loving sex relationship where you learn other experiences.
You know,
from a
it's
person.
funny. 'Cause I don't understand that because that's
also
It gets
where
so fucking
and
good.
communication is like it that helps, and it's so much easier to be communicative.
I think everybody wants that sort of better sex, but you need to get involved. It's that you,
Like you said,
that-
communicate
that-
and-
communicate, and that good sex comes with communication and
asking for what you want.
and intimate. It's intimacy. One night stands are not intimate.
no.
And that's also where
Yeah.
after you get to that point, once you're in a relationship and you do start to communicate a lot better about what you want and what you like, and you learn your partner a lot better. You know, not only does the sex get better between yourselves, but then you can also start to push things a bit and ask for things that you may not have
Yeah,
before.
but that's where I
and you
think,
start to explore a little
I
more
think
together.
I think dirty talk is really underplayed. Like
think-
I don't think enough people explore into like dirty talking to each other while having sex, because that's when you're going to ask for what you really fucking
Wait, do
want.
you guys do the dirty talk well?
Yeah.
See,
Yeah, she's
it makes me
amazing.
really uncomfortable.
I'm not very good at it.
Me
She's
neither,
amazing.
yeah.
No, see, that's when I will ask for exactly what I want in that situation, and I think that's how we learn from each other,
think
because
great
I'll
sex-
say to you like either strangle me or touch me here or they fucking
No, we've been playing with strangling recently,
No,
and
but,
I've
like,
been.
I
Yeah,
I'll
think
say-
choke's a nicer word than
Yeah,
strangle.
okay.
It's getting
But,
your
like,
point.
no, but,
Strangle inevitably ends in death.
Squeeze
It's very
my
Dexter.
neck. I don't know. Like,
Somebody's
Strangle-
been listening to My Favorite Murder too much.
I think to strangle something, it has to die at the end. I think that by definition.
no, I mean like when
Think
you're
by
when you're in,
definition.
Strangle me with your love.
give me love. No, when you're in the heat of the moment, that's when you're going to ask for what you want.
Right.
And with a partner, if I say something and he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to do that," it's not like embarrassing. I can be like, "Okay, I'm never going to ask that
think
for again.
versus
I'm never
one
going to say
night-
the word strangle again."
I think most great sex inevitably also happens after a shower, which is not something you're usually
When you
afforded to on a one night stand.
Wait, after a shower.
Yeah, because you taste better.
You taste better.
Everyone
and-
tastes better.
and it's not
And
so.
you feel sexy. You've like rubbed
dirty.
your bodies against each other in the shower, and you guys don't do that.
I don't know.
No,
I think
no.
it's good either
Yeah,
way.
Yeah,
hey, on a one night stand, if you're in like a dirty underground techno warehouse where I spent
And you've been
most
sweating all
Wow.
night.
where I spent most of my younger years, the
you
idea of having a
sucked in.
That
shower
sounds
first
disgusting.
is
That
a
does
great
sound
one.
But we do me and TY do, every time we're together, we do shower together. We take much value because I think it's.
Can't do that because we have massive disagreements on the temperature of the water. I am the biggest wuss when it comes to hot water, and she wants it like
He wants it to burn your skin
I
out and have
want it-
boils
She's like,
down your back.
I want to cook lobsters in our
No,
shower,
I like to
and I'm like,
burn
no.
the dirt off.
Yes.
But I will say,
I want a
though-
new layer of skin today. Thank
But
you.
now I will say though that when we lived in the U.S., we showered together more because we had a much bigger shower, and so I could have the scalding hot water where I wanted it, and he could be just kind of back a little bit and getting the spray that was
That's
not
what
quite
I'm
as
getting
warm.
the
Whatever
Right.
bounced off of her hit me. It was
Right.
great.
I
But here
think-
our shower is a lot smaller, and
Yeah.
so we have to
You're like
agree on
on
the
each other.
temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think showers together is one thing that if couples aren't like having super sexual moments, I think showering together brings the sex.
There's
I
a-
love it. When we
there's
go to the
great
hotel,
intimacy.
Everyone looks
Yeah.
good, like when they're like washing themselves and they're just touching. Everyone looks good doing that, and if you do that and you're both naked and then you both go back into your bedroom and you're both naked, what's going to happen? You're going to stick it in. And it's just one way.
You need to work on your flirting skills.
It's one way to just bring that sexy back, and then you can start being open. You start, I don't know, I think we do that regularly, so we're willing to go there.
On the bright side, you're all fresh and clean. That's good.
We got that shit on lock.
Shit on lock.
We've got that shit on lock.
Oh, God. All right. We've been rambling on and on. We should
Yeah,
wrap this up.
everyone knows our daily routine.
We're going to wrap this up. I have actually one last quick question for you, and this is awkward as hell, I'm sure, but is marriage in the future?
Oh, God. Let's get through this 2 years of travel.
Smart.
That's gonna.
I think we've
test.
both discussed.
So I guess the question is, do both of you all want to get married? Not necessarily to each other,
do.
but do you like the idea of marriage?
I do. I've got some
do.
interesting ideas on marriage. I don't know if
Yes, and I want to get married.
You're talking
So
to
it's
us
all-
about interesting ideas on marriage, please.
No, I want to get married in the future. My big thing, I think we're both being very, because we are traveling for 2 years, I think we're both being very realistic in the
You
fact
guys are
that...
out there going to love each other or kill each other.
Yeah,
somewhere.
it's going to go one other way, and we can't predict, like, if we go into this going, yes, we're going to love each other, and we're going to come back and we're going to get married, and if it doesn't work, it's going to fucking suck.
Do you guys
Yeah.
fight well?
Yeah, I think so.
We fight not very often. We don't.
No, but when you fight,
we
do you fight well?
Yes.
Like, fairly, you don't bring up old shit. You don't hold
No.
grudges.
You actually
And once
listen
it's
to the
over,
other
you
person.
listen to the other person. You're like, okay, you have a valid argument, but I think you're wrong.
In a fight, neither of us want to actually win. It's not about winning, and I think that's important. And
Yeah, we don't. There's no
when
name
we do
calling.
fight, I think it's we're both very humble in the fact that we can realize we're being a dick.
Yeah.
That's
and
good. Yeah.
You instantly go, I'm not being a nice person. I'm sorry. This is how I was feeling, and this is why I reacted like this. And we both do it, and that's why we fight well.
For me as well, and I think it's not just.
It's just not
I think
worth
it's in
it.
all my relationships with everybody that I interact with. Because of, like I was saying before, I'm very low stress, very sort of zen. A lot of the time, something might really piss me off, and I just won't react, or I won't sort of
But if you do, you get over it very
But
quickly.
sometimes I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake, you know.
That's exactly what he says to me.
You know, it's just like, oh my
He goes-
God, like listen to yourself, or you know, or like, you know, and then I'll have my little blow up. And
I think our longest
and then
fight was half an hour.
That's great.
I get over myself. You know, I'm like, right.
So you burn very bright and very quickly.
And then I go,
done.
and then I
Yeah.
go, I'm angry. I've upset somebody else. This is shit.
And I'm
then I go,
usually
right, I'm gonna
overreacting to
stop being
something that
angry,
he said,
make her
or-
feel better,
or
and
making
then-
something up in my head, and I'll go, actually, I'm just being a psycho bitch. I'm really sorry
Yeah,
about
so-
that. And then I think we fight very well. But back to your question, I personally want to get married to someone in the future. And I think because this will be a huge test to us.
Yeah.
And I think we've both agreed on the fact that with marriage, I think a lot of people, people date for 4 years and then get married. That's not long enough to know if you want to be with someone. Whether you get married, if you're going to marry someone, you're intending to spend the rest of your life with them. And whether you get married in 4 years or 14 years, if you were going to get married in 4 years, you were intending to be with them for those 14 years anyway. So what's the point of getting married then and
what's the
risking it
rush?
for the biscuit where you could have just waited those 14 years? You might as, when it feels right, but
we got married after a year and a half.
yeah, but you I don't know. For me, I just
But it felt
No,
right.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I do know
I'm-
what you mean.
I'm-
You're
I'm-
absolutely right.
I'm 23. I don't want to.
If we were still in the States, if we were living in the States, we wouldn't have gotten married. We would not gotten
Yeah,
married
it's
because
just-
it wasn't what we were looking for. We liked the long-term serial relationship,
Yeah.
serious relationship, but the marriage is just a certificate.
Yeah.
But we
It's-
also wanted to get married in Vegas. So.
We did want to get
Yeah.
married, so we got married. in Vegas.
There's some nice chapels there. The
We
one
got
at the
married in-
MGM is really nice.
We got married in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Anyway,
For me, it was I think having proposed to someone before and being engaged. For me, marriage starts when they say yes. That's my mindset. I think marriage being married is it takes a certain level of love, and that's a feeling. The ceremony and the piece of paper and the ring, that's for everybody else.
It's the formality.
That's the formality. That's the fit in. So for me, like when you're willing to ask the question, that's the switch. Like when they say yes, it's like right.
I like that. I think that seems fair.
And a lot of people get married to try and solve a relationship in the same way people have babies.
Well, people see it as
but
the
nothing
next step.
changes.
Like,
if you're not there emotionally, or you're not there like mentally, the piece of paper doesn't change that. And the celebration and the rings and
they're fleeting.
And the money that you spend, it's short lived, you know. And all it is photos and a night that everyone's been smashed and can't remember anyway. So for me, it's a mental and emotional decision. And once you've made that decision, it's how you choose to live together.
Yeah, and like you've said to me before, like why does because I think a lot of people get married based on the fact of society says after 4 years,
X number of
that's when
years.
You should be engaged. Well, 4 years, however many years. And you've said to me, does 4 years really make a decision for the rest of your life? Yeah. Like, how does 4 years equate to 35, 40 years?
Yeah.
How does that then go, oh, well, these 4 years have been good, so I'm guessing the next 45 will be good.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. So I think we're both in the same mindset where we want that eventually, and we're hoping.
Yeah, and I get that the rings and the certificate, it's nice and it's a formality, and it's nice to sort of be able to express that and show
in front of a bunch of people
and show everybody. But like I said, for me, it's a feeling, and marriage itself is more of a business decision than anything.
I can completely agree.
It's not it's not a love decision. It's
because you either feel that way or you don't.
You know, there's two things that marriage give you: a tax break, and you can visit your loved one in hospital.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that I don't know?
Well, because you're not going to all of a sudden
rights after death.
Right. So, okay. So you get to decide how
they
to
die.
desecrate their body after they die.
Yeah, because you're not going to suddenly feel more for them.
Necrophilia?
That's beautifully done.
You may fuck me one more time once I'm in the coffin.
She signed it right there.
If it's not on your will, it is now.
We're part of the Mile Low Club.
But yeah, I honestly think, and it's a business decision. So it's
I think it's a good way to look at it. Really,
you gotta be there.
Yeah.
But you want to reach that stage of feeling.
Well, we got married because we thought it would be easier for the visa process.
Yeah.
You know, we're married, we're moving to another country. Visas.
It'll be easy to get a visa.
But we didn't realize how relaxed Australians are. They're like, fuck, we don't care.
Do you want to live here?
Yeah.
Do you want to pay tax?
Yeah.
You can come.
Are you all shacking up?
Well,
Great.
and also because
You're sharing one house? Come on in.
because a de facto relationship is very easy here, but as in the States, it's not near as easy to have a de facto
States
relationship.
doesn't want anybody.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck off, we're full.
It's so fucking
Well,
bizarre.
and also there, it's single or married. There's not that de facto kind of middle.
Yeah.
And in Australia there is, and it's
You know the lottery system in
with the
States?
visas.
Yeah. So, well, even for like
When I was trying to get
permanent
my
residency,
visa.
or like for permanent residency or citizenship, even you go into a lottery and it boom right.
Yeah,
you're
when I was
American.
trying to get my visa
Wham,
for
bam.
the States, I had the option of going into the lottery. And then I was like, I don't want to win the lottery. So I just got the other option. But yeah it's for everyone.
Yeah.
It's really random.
But your visa doesn't let you work. It just lets you
Not
go
on
in
the
and out for
books.
5 years.
And who really works on the books in the States? Like, come on.
That's awesome.
Let's be real. But
What is that? 330 million plus illegals.
What's one more?
What's going to be one more? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Oh God! Now we're moving to politics. All right, I'm calling it. We're calling it.
Calling it.
Okay.
All right.
Well, first of all, we want to thank you guys
Thank
for
you very much
rambling
for-
with us for 2.5 hours.
Yes, it's been awesome.
my
He was
God.
at the beginning thinking I'd have nothing to say.
For people who have nothing to say, y'all are hard to shut up.
he's like, I have nothing to say. I'm like, oh, you always have something to say. Don't worry, you'll be fine.
Yeah, so if you have questions for them in particular, you can email us. We'll make sure that they get them. You can say what?
Homework.
Homework. I know.
I'll answer all the questions.
Aren't you supposed to go, I'll answer all the
I'll
questions?
answer all your questions.
There you go, Marilyn.
Just call.
So you can email those questions to us at theatomsoflove, THEATOMS of love, @gmail.com. You can follow us on the Twitterverse at The Atoms of Love.
and direct message us there. Find us on website, which is www.bytheby.com.au. Am I forgetting anything?
We have the new Facebook page
Yeah. It's going to be up and like really serious now. We have 2 followers.
Yeah, we haven't.
Shut up.
We haven't done much with Facebook. Admittedly, we much prefer Twitter, but there is a Facebook page, and if you search for By the By Podcast, I think all one word, you'll come up with it.
Yeah, we love our 2 followers. Thank you, both of you guys.
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs.
Bob and Sandy.
It's some nice person in the States and some nice person from, I think, Brisbane. So
It's Mr. Adams' mum.
oh God, that's a whole nother podcast. But yeah, so message us, find us, go to iTunes, give us a review. We would really appreciate it, and we'll give you a shout out and maybe a naughty picture.
There you
Like,
go.
I'm pimping you out for that.
Absolutely.
Click, pick, dick pic.
Dealer's choice.
Send a question mark, you get something.
Send a question mark, you get both. All right, y'all. We'll talk to you later. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.